I'm intrigued to know what he was asking for from Vegas. That they were like, "Hey, fuck off, man."
The where they
Because
were give me a little.
yeah, like it couldn't have been term or like length of years because he's still pretty young, all things considered. I think he's only like 28. Unless he wanted like a max 8-year deal, in which case I could understand saying no.
Would have been nutty.
Yeah, I don't know. Like when I saw Stamkos's 8-year deal, I was like, what are we even doing here? He's gonna be 35. Like his
He signed an
like
8
from
year deal.
Lightning. No, like when the Lightning were like, "Hey,
Oh,
this is
okay, I
what we
see.
want," and they offered him an 8-year deal, I was like, "Whoa!" Like he's like
Let's
year
not go
one is him
crazy here.
35 years old.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like Stamkos is going to get like a 1 year deal.
he got a 4-year deal.
Did like where did I haven't seen that he signed anywhere though.
He got a 4-year deal with Nashville. I think it was 4 years, 4.5. I think the
Yeah.
5 years 5.5 for Marcia, so sucks because I really think that could have been done. But
Okay, yeah. I just saw Stamkos tweeting about that he's leaving, and people are like,
yeah,
"Oh, take care of him in Nashville." Like, all right. There's been a few signings with Chicago that I've really liked. Like Tyler Bertuzzi signed with Chicago. Teravainen signed a 3-year, $5.4 million deal with Chicago. So there's like
I was making good moves. I liked Toffoli to San Jose.
that's
Throw
a
him in with Celebrini.
that's a good one just solely because you can make that kid comfortable,
Yeah,
which is
16
exactly
team
what
no
you need to
trade
do.
thing. Flames getting Mantha
Anthony Mantha
for
goes to the Flames?
1 year 3.5. Good rips. He sucked in Vegas, man. He was terrible.
He was
I'm
awesome in
really
Detroit.
yeah. I'm really hyped about Andrew Holtz. I think that's how you say his, I think that's his name.
Andrew Holtz, yeah.
That kid that kid from
Or
Jersey that we got
yeah,
for
Alexander Holtz.
Alexander Holtz.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty hyped for him. It's a good third, fourth line guy to get going.
Well, he was a former like top 10 pick if I'm remembering
Hey, he was
correctly.
7th overall in 2020. Like that was the guy that like when the Flames traded Markstrom, that's who they thought they were gonna get.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I don't
I
know if he just has no more trade value because Paul Cotter in a third round pick is less value than Markstrom in my opinion.
yeah, I remember back in that draft, it was like if you're gonna take a Swede, he has to be the top Swede. It was either between him and Simon Edvinsson, and obviously the Red Wings chose Simon Edvinsson. People are like, "What are you
Yeah,
doing?" And everyone, it's like, okay, well, if Stevie Y is making that pick, then of course it's gonna be fine. But
yeah. My my one guy had like it's a weird one that's stupid that I want. I want Jeff Skinner, low key.
really,
I think we could tap into him here. Bring him back with Eichel. I don't think playing him on the second line works with Eichel, but like get him into Vegas, even if it's like 1 year, like a 1 year 2 mil. Put him in there for a year, see what he does. I go from there. Vegas is amazing at 1 year deals when they
I
sign him.
I don't know why more NHL teams don't do 1 year deals. Like, I look at
Yeah,
teams that sign a 30-year-old to an 8 year deal, and I go, this is just instant regret because
yeah.
all you're
Well,
doing is looking at it going like, we're going to pay you a stupid amount of money, and then we're going to try to basically buy out your contract in 3 years when you start underperforming for that money. It's like, why not go for a 3 year deal
I
with a little bit more, like if like for instance, like, oh, I'm paying you $6 million every year for this 8 year deal. Why not just go, I'm gonna pay you $6.3 million for 3 years, or on
yeah.
every year for 3 years.
Are there like can you do like because I know in baseball we can do back loading and front loading of contracts. Can you do that in the NHL or do you have to do like this is just what it's going to be every year?
uh
Because on those 8-year deals, it would make more sense to front load it a little bit. So you're not paying,
yeah, I
let's say,
think it's
$6 million a
basically
year.
I think with the NHL, what it is that you're basically given this amount of money per your contract, and then it's just spread out evenly over those entire years. I could be
So
wrong
there
on that.
isn't.
There might be a little bit of front loading, but for the most part, pretty much every single year is realistically the same. I know in the NFL, a lot of the contract, well, again, in the NFL, your contracts aren't fully guaranteed. In the NHL, every contract is fully guaranteed. So it's a little nutty and bizarre. Um, Ian Cole signs a 1 year, $3.1 million deal with Utah. Brett Pesce 6 times 5.5 to New Jersey.
Matt Roy to the Caps for 5.75 on 6 years,
Yep.
and then Jake Bean to the Flames. Low key, Flames have had like an insane couple days.
Why? Like this is the move that I'm confused about. And so Craig Smith 1 year or 1 times 1 to Chicago. So that's just kind of like a nothing signing, but
Austin getting Lindholm and Zadorov is nuts, by the way.
oh yeah. But this is what I'm confused about the Flames is that Anthony Mantha is a guy in the NHL right now today. He's not a first liner what he used to be in Detroit. He's not a second liner what he was in Washington, and I think he's kind of proven to be like a third line guy. But
Yeah,
in Calgary, Anthony Mantha is going to be like a second line like
he'll be
key
up there. Like he'll be playing with either Huberdeau or Kadri.
yeah. Like he's a big powerful power forward.
Could it could work though?
But
It won't,
the
but it
Flames,
could.
the Flames shouldn't be trying to win though. They should actively be
I don't
trying
think
to
these are
lose.
moves that are trying to win, but I don't think they want to be like an active like, hey, we want to lose 70 games. Like I think they're trying to be not competitive, but they want to still put out a team that isn't an embarrassment every night.
But this is a move that keeps you basically in that same mold of like we're not good enough to make the playoffs, but we're
Yeah,
not
but these
bad
are
enough
guys
to
that they
be.
can. These are guys they can move at the deadline though for more picks and
Uh,
stuff.
True, true, and yeah, but ah,
Also, Brady Skajay, 7 years, 7 mil AAV to Nashville.
but yeah, Steven Stamkos, the official numbers, 4 years, 8 million in Nashville. So he's no
I
$8 million
didn't
a
think he
year.
was gonna get 8 because wasn't he asking for like 5?
Jesus, Nashville.
Elias Lindholm 7 year deal with the Bruins at a 7.75. David Perron to the 4 million AAV on a 2 year deal.
Where did David Perron sign?
Interesting. Also, okay, I'm really confused. Oh, we're doing this again.
Where did David Perron sign? I didn't hear where you said. You kind of cut in and out a little bit there.
Hey,
Hey. And his computer kind of died.
yeah, hey.
You're back?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
Thank. Do you hear me?
I can, yes.
I was saying Lindholm to the Bruins at 7.75 on 7 years, and then Prawn for AAV 2 years with the Sens. But I was saying, it's stupid. You remember a couple of years ago when like the NBA was like July 1st was their day and everyone signed?
Yeah.
Their free agency started yesterday and like nothing happened. Is that just because the NBA is like so dead now that no one wants to cover it, or like what's going on?
No, there was stuff signed. There was a bunch of moves that happened. It's just that there wasn't like any headliners because there wasn't really any headline guys that were available. I know James Harden, he signed a deal and there was stuff like that, but
I
there
did
wasn't.
see Chris Paul signed,
Yeah,
but
yeah, and there was some stuff. Where did you say that fuck David Perron signed?
a Sens,
Fucker.
Ottawa. Did
Oh,
did Paul George sign yesterday? Because I know like
yeah.
he's supposedly going to like Philly or something.
I know he signed like a
Dude, if
one
that's
year,
the case, I
11
can't
year.
believe. Yeah,
Yeah, 1 year,
that
like
motherfucker
11.
is the reason Kawhi Leonard isn't in Toronto.
Yep.
Like the only reason.
2 year, $8 million with the Sens. Ah, Adverson to Edmonton. That's interesting.
Yeah, I just was supposed to say that, but I don't know the dude's first name. So
Yegor Sharangovich
Laura
signs a
Brasso
5-year extension
to
with the
the.
Flames.
I definitely thought he was going to get traded for Pinto, but
He signs a 5-year,
Brasso to
five.
the Hawks.
Okay, okay. 5-year, 5.7 million for um Sharangovich.
Who do you have on that?
Like, who did I see report that?
Yeah.
Dan Milstein.
Fuck is that?
Boston lands both Lindholm and Zadorov. They're basically just taking
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Flames scraps. Watch them just both be elite.
Yeah. Flame scraps turned Canucks, were they not?
Yeah, they both were, because Zadorov got traded like insanely
Really
quickly
early on.
in the season, and then Lindholm was a deadline day move.
I just want you to know, looking at the live stream, it's titled NFL Free Agency.
Oh, is it? Well,
Yeah. Just so you're aware.
yeah, okay. It's just muscle memory at that point. Yeah,
Fair enough.
have to go in there and switch some stuff.
Happy Canada Day.
It is indeed the Kanaka today.
Canuck Day. Senators sign Noah Gregor. Oh, that's old.
That's old news.
Yeah, it's old news.
I don't know if that's old news. I'm just saying stuff.
It's like 15 minutes old. On a day like today, that is old news.
Yeah.
Honestly,
And
Loki, shout out Twitter for not crashing like it did yesterday. Or not last year.
honestly, think of
Sabres
it.
get Jason Zucker.
Okay.
Leafs get Anthony Stolarz. 2 years, 2.5. I don't know if he said that already.
Yep.
I think the Leafs thought that everyone told them to like. Now they're like, well, shit, we're stuck getting really weird signings now.
Yeah. All right. We are now officially
Nice.
titled NHL Free Agency. Now that my, tism is
Love that.
lower.
Devin Cooley is a goalie. He signs a 2-year deal with the Flames.
That one makes a little
that's
bit more
cool.
sense because
And
they
he's
need
he'll be
the
like the
Flames
backup
need.
to Vladar.
Well, he's probably going to be a number 3 goalie just because they have Vladar and Wolf. Because Wolf needs to play full time in the
You think
NHL
Wolf
this year.
spends the full year though?
100%.
Yeah, but you think he spends the full year? Because I thought he was going to spend the full year last year, and they were going to trade Markstrom early, and they kept him because they wanted Wolf to get experience in the AHL.
Well, the only reason they didn't have him up last year, and they would have had him full AHL last year if there wasn't injuries. The only reason that he actually played for the Flames last year was because there was injuries. But now that Markstrom's gone, they have Vladar, who has proven that he can play at the NHL level. It's gonna basically be both of those guys are splitting like even amount of games. I would have to
So that should
imagine.
be like a 60-40 split, probably for Vladar, but
Yeah. I honestly I wouldn't be surprised if they split it 31-31. Like just go rate 50%. Just go like we need to see cuz he is the best goalie prospect in the NHL, arguably the best prospect in the NHL.
31-31.
Oh, 41-41. Yeah, math is
I was like, are they cutting games because of this like Four Nations tournament thing, or like?
they should.
Huh. Flames were close on Victor Arvidsson, but he's gonna go north. Yeah, because he wants to win. Oilers are poking around on Jeff Skinner.
That wouldn't be
Zodorov
terrible.
gets 6 years at a 5 mil AAV.
That big nasty Russian going over to the Boston, kind of help them out. Deep,
Who
deep.
does Toronto get to replace Bertuzzi?
Ooh,
Because that's a big one to do unless they call up like a guy like Minton or Easton Cowan for the year and say, hey, figure it out.
the problem for Toronto is it's not necessarily going to be who do they get to replace Bertuzzi. It's who can they afford to replace Bertuzzi, because
That's why I think they go a Minton or a Cowan.
yeah, it's probably about time that they start bringing up some of their younger guys that they have kind of tried to develop, just because you can't simply just sit back and try to buy out. And again, the Toronto way of just basically buying everyone is, yeah, it hasn't worked.
Like I know, no, it hasn't. Like I know word around the Blades is they don't expect Minton to be there next year.
Yeah.
But they know that stuff can change. If he does come back, he's gonna get shipped out of Saskatoon in a flash
Heartbeat.
for
Yeah.
picks and prospects and everything because they have to re-ship that up a bit.
This is kind of funny that, you and I both kind of have a lot more insight to the WHL
Yeah,
world. You specifically with one team, and me with a little bit more with prospects here and there for very different
yeah.
reasons. But yeah,
I I know Sidorov isn't going to be in the WHL next year.
no.
He's either NHL or AHL. I assume NHL. It's not
I
like
would
the
probably
Ducks have
bet
much to
AHL
like.
to start, but yeah.
I expect him to play in the NHL. Like he'll probably do like that 7 game thing at the very beginning of the year, and then they'll figure out where to move him.
Yeah. Brendan Dillon to New Jersey 3x4. I don't know if you've already said that one, but
No, I haven't. I haven't even seen that one. Oh,
think of
there
it,
it is.
when the MLB trade deadline day comes around, you can actually have three people on because there's three people that actually can talk baseball now.
We're doing me and DJ want to do a stream on that Tuesday. I think it's like the 30th for it. I'm very intrigued because I'm in full sell and get prospects mode right now, and I know that's not going to happen because God forbid they actually want to run the organization, right? But
Yeah, God forbid you want to get young, really talented players as opposed to just kind of sticking in the middle of the road.
yeah, but I got some Blue Jays domain videos that are going to be made at some point, kind of on what to do.
So my question for you is, you want to sell and get prospects. Obviously, I would assume your top guy to sell would be Bo.
No,
Who's the top guy then?
you don't sell Bo right now because he has no value,
Does he
in
really
my
not
opinion.
have any value right
He's
now as a
well, he has
shortstop?
value, but his defense is taking a punch again this year. His offense isn't there, so his value isn't what it was a year ago. So it doesn't make sense to sell low on a guy like Bo when you can just take another run at it. I'm looking at guys like Cucci could go, Bassett could go if really needed. Um, Justin Turner's easy candidate out. Kevin Kiermaier's a DFA in my opinion, but if they can get him for anything, no complaints. A guy like IKF, who is very, very much playing way above what he ever has in his life. And then kind of from there, it's like, what else is there? There's a couple bullpen guys, but
What about Vladdy? I
no.
know you and I have talked about Vladdy before.
I'm throwing the way Vladdy's hit the ball the last month. I'm sending him a lifetime contract if I was the Jays. I'd have a blank check on the table right now for him. He's been the best hitter in the MLB for the last like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Like no one's touched him. Hell, even the last month.
Well, like what are his stats right now?
He's
Like,
hitting 300 all of a sudden again, or he's hitting very close. Yeah, I'll go look. He basically hit 400 in June.
Mm.
And he fucking dick pumped the Yankees, man. It was awesome.
Well, you got it. Dick pump the
Um,
Yankees. That was good.
he's hitting 297. He's driven in 50 runs. He's got a 375 on base percentage, 13 home runs, uh, 845 OPS, a 141 OPS plus. Right now, he's the best off baseman either in the MLB or at least in the American League right now.
Mm.
So, personally, I wouldn't sell him. I'd be giving him a blank check and telling him to fill it out with what he wants.
What if he writes on that blank check, trade me? Is it cry?
And let's trade him. You trade him to the fucking A's.
But do they have a
No,
bunch of
I'd trade him to
prospects?
Colorado. No, who would I trade him to? I'd like send him somewhere horrible. I'd send him to Washington for like every good player they have. Give me like C.J. Abrams, Alex Wood, I think it is. Mackenzie Gore, Hebert Ruiz. Give it all. I got a couple of good pitching prospects down there too. I'd send him somewhere horrible.
Signs a lifetime contract, turns that team around,
Yeah,
makes them
I'd
a finals contender every year.
go for it. That's why you send him to Washington.
Mm. Sean Monahan, 5 times 5.5 to Columbus. What what a road that guy has been on. Having to add a first round pick to trade him away, what the Flames did, to now he's signing a 5-year $5.5 million. So he's going back and he's playing with Goudreau. That's what's happening right there. They're trying to recreate the
Yo,
Flames magic of Sean Monahan and Johnny Goudreau.
rip the Flames, but I think that's a little too much money for Monahan, even after the year he had.
Yeah. Did he
But what
have
do I
that
know?
good of a year last year?
I don't think so. Willie Carrier, 6 years, 2 mil a year to the Canes.
I just love how the Flames sign a San Jose Sharks goaltender. As we continue to see here, Cooley, Sean Monahan, Teuvo Teravainen, already talked about him. 3-year deal. He's coming back to Chicago. Question is, did we just lose Will, or is he just posting up there for the moment? Only time will tell.
You
Anytime.
didn't lose me.
No, you just turn the camera off for a moment, having a
Hit a
chat with
quick
someone else.
pause. Yeah, hit a quick pause, came back. It's the two teams that three teams that I was like are gonna make some noise because it makes sense to make some noise. Was Vancouver because the year they just had,
Yep.
Detroit because they were so close and they got a hell of a lot of cap space, if I'm right, and
It's not as
they
much as they've had in years
basically
past,
a
but they've
playoff
got
team.
some. Yeah.
You got like what 10 mil to move around with,
Yeah,
maybe
around that
20.
to have some fun cash.
And then Vegas to replace Marchessault, figure out this goalie situation because it's not looking great, and then figure out some depth. And those teams are very quiet. Obviously, there's other teams that are quiet. So I feel like there's something weird cooking right now.
Well, yeah, I always thought that Steven Stamkos was going to the Wings just because of the
Low key, I thought he was going to go to the Leafs.
yeah, again, the only reason I thought he was going to the Red Wings was simply because of the connection that he has with Steve Yzerman. And since the Wings are so close, they could use a
Yeah.
guy like that to the point where you could just look at it and go, okay, you're going to be like our second, third line center that just kind of rotates night in, night out. But you're going to basically come in and have that leadership to go, like, look at Dylan Larkin and say, listen, kid, like, you are an amazing captain. You are a great player. But this is going to take us to the next level, and this is how we get to the Stanley Cup because he's been there. Having, Patrick Kane is good, but I don't like, and he's been there, but it's one of those things where you just kind of go like, if you had Steven Stamkos, that's just one of those moves you're like, okay, like this guy on a 1 year deal, very good. Oh, so speaking of
Jake
Vancouver,
DeBrusk,
yes,
Vancouver.
7 times 5.5.
Damn.
You
I didn't
don't.
want to interrupt you when I saw it, so I was just going to let you continue. And then Joel Edmondson to the Kings
Mm,
on a 4-year, 3.8.
Low key, I thought Jake DeBrusk might have signed with Edmonton.
I was thinking Leafs. I thought Leafs for a while, and then I heard Stamkos was going to go free, and I was like, maybe the Canadian connection for the Canadian kid. Maybe he goes to the Leafs, tries to end 2 droughts, one run. You
Yeah,
know, they get 2 birds, 1 stone type of thing.
finally get the Leafs to win more than 2 rounds in the NHL
Oh,
playoffs.
let's not get crazy here.
I still think that is hilarious that Leaf fans, like they're talking about like all the cups that they've had back in the day, and it's finally their time.
Yeah, when I
And
was
it's like,
black and white TV,
yeah, and it's like the last time that you guys won the Stanley Cup, it was 2 rounds. Like the fact that
they've
the Leafs
never
have,
won 3 rounds. I don't think in a playoffs, like in
yeah,
their history.
they've only made it to 3 rounds, but they've never won it. So,
When were they
it,
conference finals? It had to been like late '90s or like
oh,
late '80s,
and
something like
they
that.
might not have even made
'Cause I
conference
don't think they've
finals.
ever won more than 2 rounds. I don't think they've ever played 3 rounds
Yeah, there's a very strong possibility.
because I think they were not really good. I don't know. Like Vegas has won more rounds in one playoff run than Toronto ever has in one playoff run.
Yep.
So
Well,
fuck your history.
mainly because you guys have, won a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I mean we've been there twice
You have.
in 7 years.
It's very impressive.
Been 40 years since the Leafs. Have the Leafs been in a Stanley Cup final since the 60s? Because I don't think they have.
No. Like it is like a cursed organization.
I love it.
Me too. Me too.
Fun.
I love watching the Leafs burn.
It's my favorite tradition for the NHL playoffs is to watch the Leafs lose in the first round. It is like a yearly scheduled thing. It's my favorite TV show. It never gets canceled. Sure, the season might have to wait an extra year, but that next season always shows up.
Yeah. And
And
it,
I'm
it
like,
there
which of the cast is going to be gone this time? Did they ship Matthews out for a couple days? You're like, who's gone this time? Marner.
for me, the Toronto Maple Leafs are the Dallas Cowboys of the NHL. It's like every year their fans are like, "This is our year. This is our year. We're greatest. We're gonna win the Stanley Cup," and then they just fail, and every other organization just laughs at them, and it's great. It's
For the
awesome.
longest time, they were the Cubs of baseball,
Yeah,
of hockey, but now they're the Cleveland Guardians, Indians of hockey now, in my opinion. Although Cleveland doesn't really say it's our year every year. No one in the MLB says it's our year because like the Yankee fans do, but you can't really talk shit to them because they won in '09. It's not like they're on this insane heater.
yeah.
You know, the wealth is usually split pretty well around in the MLB.
There's constant. You always have your constant good teams because they're the big money teams that just say we're gonna
But those are
buy.
the teams that usually don't win right now. Like the Dodgers are one of those teams, and they don't win besides the Mickey Mouse year of 2020. And then the Yankees, they aren't winning because they're dads, the Houston Astros, are like, what they do to them is, whew. The Red Sox don't win. That's just because they're not good anymore. And then that's kind of it for like teams that used to spend a whole bunch. Like the Astros don't spend a lot of money, but they just always have great teams.
Yeah. It's kind of just figuring, because I know the ideology of kind of like the Moneyball philosophy isn't really a thing anymore. Like that has shifted away over the last couple years, just from again, me only being in watching the sport and understanding it for the year that I have of professional baseball. It's like, okay, that has kind of shifted away these last couple years, but yeah, we all know the White Sox aren't winning it this year
No,
unless they have a historic
there's
back end.
uh, oh, you guys got William Lagesson for a 1 year, 775. Whoever the fuck that is.
I didn't even see that.
No, there's like it's sort of hybrid if that makes sense now.
Mm.
Like there's a way of Moneyball where you still spend money, if that makes
Yes.
sense.
Yeah.
But instead of spending, if you're going to spend, say, 150, because you have to spend a lot of money now. You can't be an A's where you only spend 40. But if you're going to spend 150 million or to 200 million, you can hybrid it into a way where you don't have to get the big names and it still works. Like
You can
Tampa
have a lot
Bay
of
was the best at it forever.
yeah, you can have a lot of B level players as opposed to having like 2 or 3 A levels, and then that just oversets the kind of like C level guys that you have. You can consistently have like B level guys all across the board.
Like the Rays were great at it for, I mean, 2017 they started it. 2018 it started making moves, and they were just kind of like that since 2018 until about now, where it's starting to fall off again. But I mean, they would just keep rotating. So the that 6 year window before you hit free agency, that a guy would hit year 5 or year 6, and they were replaced right away by another prospect that's about to hit the big leagues, and they would work out so well. Like, I mean, God, I think the Rays have lost one trade in the last like 10 years.
Yeah, that's what you basically hear. It's kind of like trading with Steve
You
Eiserman.
don't
You just
trade with
don't
them.
do it.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I like the little mustache that's coming in.
Thanks. I had to trim it a bit because it was getting in my mouth.
That happens. Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of it.
So far, the Washington Capitals have added this offseason Matt Roy, Jacob Chitrin, Logan Thompson, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Andrew Mangiapane. It's still only July 1st. That is low-key a really, really good offseason.
They've had a good offseason. I think they want to give Ovechkin his final couple years a great hurrah.
Yeah,
You know,
they essentially want him to break Gretzky's record, but also give him the opportunity to get one more Stanley Cup, because then that it doesn't
it
tie
won't, but
Sidney Crosby, but it gets him damn near close.
the new argument stands of, well, Ovechkin can do it in the playoffs too, and he's got the Gretzky record.
Yes.
Although at this rate, it's just going to be broken in 15, not even 15 years, 10 years by Matthews. So
Maybe. Yeah.
if Matthews keeps scoring 60 a year,
Yeah, it's going to be hard to argue that for sure. So I
but
was
Matthews
playing
has to stay in Toronto with someone else around him, in my
he
opinion, for him
needs
to do
he
that.
needs playmakers. He needs playmakers around him. But I was playing NHL last night or these
Yeah.
last couple days, and in my expansion mode, I got the first pick, and it was a franchise power forward who was like
Ooh.
99 across for every shooting statistic. Rookie season, 50 goals. Sophomore
Damn.
season, 66 goals. I was like, okay,
Damn.
homeboy just has casually like 119 goals in his first 2 years in the NHL. Like, all right,
Fuck.
I
NHL
know,
24 comes free tomorrow.
I'm gonna get it.
I'm so hyped for that. I'm playing. Am I playing 22 or am I playing 23?
I'm playing 23 right now.
I think I'm playing 23. I did an expansion mode where I like very much just grabbed a bunch of B-list players minus like a couple guys. Like I think like my goalie was Johnny Quick.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
And then I had Johnny Marchessault as like my A guy, and then kind of like a bunch of like they had like Sam Steele. I had what's his name from Colorado. Um, some guy from Colorado, and they kind of worked it out well. And then I had an insane draft. I drafted, I got Matt Savoy 4th overall, and then I grabbed Jaeger Furcus like 38th overall, and then we won the cup, like our first year. It really kind of pissed me off because I was like, oh, I'm gonna tank, I'm gonna do this properly, and then we were second in the West at the deadline. So I moved some stuff around. I got Cole Sillinger through a trade. It was a really lopsided trade. I got Sillinger for some like dude that I wasn't playing. I think it was Luke Shen.
Mm.
And it was like 1-for-1. They didn't want to pick or anything for it. I didn't need a pick for it because I was getting Cole Sillinger for Luke Shen.
Yeah.
And then I traded for some goalie. And then I got a pick with it as well. And then I drafted insanely well in year 2, but I haven't started year 2 yet.
So the way that it
Oh,
happened
I
for
have Ethan
me
Bear too.
is I got first year, I was trying to do the tank, and
Mm-hmm.
again, the team went to the playoffs. I was like, okay, looks like I'm gonna try to build this team to actually be good. And then year 2, won the President's Cup.
Damn.
Got bounced first round, baby.
Yeah, the
Let's
Thirsty Team.
go.
We bounced Edmonton.
That's
We
that's
took
who bounced me.
we took a massive fall because Johnny Quick got injured, and then this goalie I traded for got injured. So we were like, I was running like Dan Vladar and some dude from the AHL, and then Marchessault got hurt and Sillinger got hurt. So I was like, we limped into the playoffs. I got everyone healthy like 2 games before the playoffs,
Nice.
which was sick. And we, yeah, Edmonton won. It was like 57 games or something, 56 games, and we had walked in with like 44. And we were, first of all, because it was the old rules, we walked in as like the 6th seed, and we played Edmonton,
Yeah.
and it didn't make sense to me, especially because Edmonton won the President's Trophy, and yeah, they blew a 2-0 lead to us.
Nice.
We were down 2-0. We went back. We kicked their ass in Edmonton, or at home, and then kicked their ass in Edmonton.
Do you want to know the funniest thing about my team? Do you want to know who my 2 goalies are? Dan
Who?
Vladar and Stuart Skinner. And
Stuart Skinner wasn't even available for me.
they have just been putting in work for me, and I love it. And it's just hilarious because they're both like 84 overall, and it's just like they're just
Yeah.
killing it.
Hey, fair enough. I just basically went. I was like looking at it. I was like, I want some young guys, like some 26, 27-year-olds who have a couple years on their deal. And yeah, they just all kind of went nuts.
I took a
Like Cole
bunch.
Sillinger is my second line forward, and he had 45 goals.
Damn.
Yeah, he killed it. He had like 15 when I traded for him, and then just put in numbers with Marchessault until Marchessault got hurt.
Nice. Now, question for you: is NHL 24 co-op GM? Did they bring that in this year, or is that only coming to 25?
Oh look, 24.
Because I know Sterling also wants to get 24 just as like a team builder, just as something just to fuck around with.
Yeah, I'm looking. I don't see anything.
So it just must be 25 then.
Yeah, it is 25 even confirmed for that?
That's what I've heard for it.
I've heard nothing about NHL 25.
I've heard that Matthews is going to be the cover art.
Did you
After
see
it's done.
that leak?
Yeah.
Was that, yeah, I don't think that's real.
Neither do I, but like at the same time, EA with the NHL game wouldn't shock me. You know what I
No, it
mean?
wouldn't shock me either. But like I saw that and I was like, I do hope that it is because 24 is still a PS4 game and like Xbox One. So if they do it, I hope it's like strictly for like current gen.
Yeah.
not last gen. Cam Talbot to the Wings. 2.5 for 2 years.
Like, I know Eiserman wanted to go out there and get a goalie, but he didn't want someone who was just going to be there for a couple of seasons.
Yeah. I just want to know what the fuck we're doing.
Like, to me, that move almost screams like an AHL goalie to play with. Fuck, why am I forgetting the goalie prospect that we have? Really good. Fuck. Like, it screams like he's gonna be like the veteran AHL goalie that occasionally gets brought up. It's just But yeah, Jake Bean, obviously that move kind of makes sense because he's a Calgary kid. So
Yeah.
going basically just saying like, oh, I'd rather like I get to go home. That's fine. But
Druin back to Colorado on a 1-year deal. Makes sense. You got to do something, right? What are we cooking? I don't even know who's a free agent. Actually, to be really honest with you. Like, I knew there was, like, Gensel, but he didn't even make it there. I knew it was Stamkos and, like, Marchessault, and then that was kind of, like, it. Skinner's still available. Like, Jeff Skinner.
Yep.
But, like, I actually don't know who free agents are.
Jonathan Drouin with the Avs. I don't know if you...
Skinner, Nate Schmidt. Yeah. Going back to the Avs. Tarasenko's a free agent?
Yep.
Damn. I wouldn't mind him. TJ Brody, Jack Campbell. Yeah, well, no one's going to touch that. It's like not a whole lot that's intriguing. Matt Duchene, but like I think he's just going to sign an extension with Minnesota. It's just not a whole lot that like intrigues me. Is like, ooh, I want to go get that.
Yeah, not a lot that moves the needle.
A lot of it is just good depth, and there's nothing wrong with good depth because depth wins championships.
Yeah.
Just ask Edmonton. They had no depth and they couldn't win. I love Kevin Weeks, by the way.
Yeah.
His Twitter and the way he breaks stuff is insane. He's inside a mini sticks goal, like a net right now, and he's saying, Cam Talbot, 2 years, 2.5, Detroit.
Hey, nothing wrong with it. Yeah.
I love him. He is hilarious to me.
Have we checked in on our favorite Flames fan yet?
Dude. I'll go take a look. You'll see. He's probably creamed about Jake Bean. Thank God. Oh, that's DeBrusque to Vancouver. Weird. Never seen him cheer for another team.
Especially Vancouver.
Oh, okay. I have no issues with this. It's Anthony Mantha. And that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I've seen as well from him.
Oh, happy birthday, Jerome Arthur Lay Adekunle Tej Jr. Elvis Aginla. If that's his full name, fair fucking play. But I really, if there's a reference there, I'm missing it.
Yeah, me too.
Go look up Jerome Aginla's full name. Oh, no, that's his full name.
Now, my question is, do you think he just copied and pasted that into the Twitter?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I would have done the same.
Yeah, Jerome Arthur Lay Adekunle Tej Jr. Elvis Aginla. Hey, save some names for the rest of us.
Right? Fuck.
Jesus, man. Holy shit.
And not only did he use one of those names for his kid.
6, 7, 8 names. Yeah, and one of them is his kid has his 7th middle name.
Yeah. Like, he couldn't even get the first middle name. He got the 7th.
Yeah. Surprise. Elvis Aginla. I kind of wish he was just Jerome Elvis Aginla.
Yeah.
What's Tej's name? Because Tej probably has an insane amount of names. No, he's just Tej Aginla. He is. They're like, sorry, kid, we ran out of names.
The Aginla family has way too many middle names, so you just get none. See, I only have the one middle name.
Joe Iginla's thing, when you look it up, it's not like, oh, hockey player, like with the Oil Kings. T.J. Iginla's brother. That's his description.
Joe Aginla's gonna be a good player too.
Yeah. That's nuts. This, I didn't realize Cara Iginla is Jerome Iginla's wife. That makes sense. I don't think she played hockey. But, dude, that's an insane amount of names.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
who in their right mind went to the birth certificate and was like, fuck it, autofill?
Because you have one middle name, correct?
Dos.
You have two. So I'm just the lone middle name here.
Yeah. But, like, I don't really use my second middle name, if that makes sense.
Mm. People ask you for like, oh, what's your full name? You go like your first name, middle
Well,
name, last.
if they want full name, I'll use both. But like when I have to like sign documents, like just wants your one. Like if it wants your middle initial, I just use the one.
Ah, I see.
That's an insane amount of names, though.
Oh,
Imagine making an 8-year-old, hey, spell your full name, and it's like, well, give me a minute. Do you have an essay paper that I could use?
you got like a typewriter that I can speed this process up for you? Like,
How would
shit.
you even remember that?
Like, just imagine trying to teach him how to spell all of those names. Just like, this is how
Yeah.
you write.
Okay, so here's your middle name. Here's your middle name, and here's the rest of your middle names.
Don't forget your 8th middle name and your 9th and 12th.
Yeah. And it's not like any of those like made sense. Like, where did Elvis fit into the race?
Maybe they just saw him and like, he's gonna be a singer.
They really liked Elvis, and they're like, you know what? He's gonna soothe the people.
Maybe he just popped out of the womb and went, "Ain't nothing like a hound dog," and they're like, "Fuck, middle name has to be Elvis."
His scream was like, and they're like, Elvis, right
Yep,
there.
right there.
You
Can't
hear
give him
him?
the
That
first
kid's in
name.
tune.
Oh, you watched the first round of the NHL draft, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, like
Like I kind of tuned off after Eiserman got drafted.
fair. But one thing that kind of annoyed me when I was listening to the broadcast, it was like a bunch of the times when they were talking about T.J. Ginla, they were like, "Oh, his dad got drafted with this pick to the Flames." I'm like, he wasn't drafted by the Flames.
Okay, yeah, low key. I just learned that the other day.
Like he was drafted by the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, I just learned that. I didn't realize that. I thought he was drafted by the Flames, but he was drafted before I was birthed. So,
Yes, yes.
like, I just always assumed he was drafted by the Flames, and I had no reason to look it up for any other reason to see
Oh,
if I was wrong.
totally, totally. And like I think a lot of people just assume that he was drafted by the Flames because it was like, oh, he was, Calgary Flame. But all you need to do is just one little Google research and go Jerome McGinley draft. And
Yeah.
boom, it pops up 11th overall, Dallas Stars. I'm sitting back going like, as someone who does broadcasting, you have to fact check shit. And again,
It's
with
just
that type
simple.
of situation, it's like, okay, kid, he's going to be drafted in the top 10. Dad, Hall of Famer, one of the best players to ever do it. Maybe figure out which team he was drafted by.
I'm gonna be real. I didn't really listen to the broadcast. I had
Neither did
no
I,
interest
but
in
I
listening to it.
heard that moment. I was like, come on, guys. Like, really?
I
And they said
listened
it
to like, the
multiple
pick
times.
announcements.
Yeah.
Yeah, I listened to pick announcements like, oh, we select here. I think the only two picks that I really listened to was Berkeley's pick to Seattle,
Yep.
and then our pick with Trevor Conley.
Hmm.
Which, by the way, honestly, I would have never known about his like social media stunt that he did if they didn't mention it on the broadcast. It to me, it's already so blown over.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't even name you the kid on is he on Montreal? that I don't even know what he did, but he did something, and they were like, "Hey, this guy's a real dick on social media." He did this when he was like 14, 15, and then Montreal drafted him, and he played. And I couldn't tell you what he did anymore, and I can tell you what the hell his name is.
Honestly, the
The only
first that
things
I
that'll
found out,
stick. Hmm?
the first thing that was the first time that I'd ever heard about that. You know,
Yeah.
in that moment, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the only ones that I think will stick with people for a while is this Team Canada stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty
That's gonna
rough.
stick with you for a while.
Yeah.
So get used to it.
Good old Carter Hart and the boys.
I saw that it was like, oh, these guys haven't been qualified contracts. And it's like Edmonton's about to go shopping.
Edmonton's about to get the steal of the century for 6 players.
Dude, I was on Twitter the other day. Apparently, Panther fans think they're really hated amongst the NHL world.
Why?
Yeah, like so when Thompson got traded to Washington, and it was like, oh, he was signing autographs during this, and he stuck around to continue to sign autographs and everything. Everyone's like, these Panther fans, like, how are we more hated than Vegas when they do this? And I was like, I can tell you for a fact, you are not more hated than Vegas. There is not a single team in the league that is more hated than Vegas. Maybe Toronto.
I was gonna say
Maybe
Toronto is
Toronto.
a pretty heavy favorite.
But we are the most hated team in the Western Conference. It's not even close. Everyone hates us. It's like the only thing
New
Panthers
boys on the
the
block
most.
that have kind of come out of just nowhere and just been this team that's
Yeah,
been doing things differently. Yeah, I can see it.
we brought in a new standard to how to run a team and how to win, and people hate it. The
Because it's
only
the
thing that
proper
Panthers are
standard.
the most of is the most forgettable team.
Well, especially in Florida with, Tampa Bay
You
also
see
being
that
there.
Stanley Cup parade? There was like 8 people there.
Yeah. I
I
do
was the
love
first
how
time I saw
Chuck
NHL
was.
fans. NHL fans were like, "Oh, we apologize to Vegas because this is fucking embarrassing." And I was like, "How does this bad Stanley Cup parade mean you apologize to us?" But sure, I'll take it.
Yeah. I love how Chuck had, like, after winning the cup for like the first 4 days, he had like 5 hours of sleep because he was either so coked out of his mind or just constantly drunk, where it was just like, okay, like he's having a good time.
And always talking about Edmonton.
Yeah.
It was nuts. Huh? Every third word that man said was like, "Fuck Edmonton."
I mean, like, I get it from him because he was a Flames player for so
Yeah,
long, and it was just like that built-in rivalry where he was like, I need to hate Edmonton. And like, I get that. Like, it makes sense. But then going to Florida still kind of has that. It's kind of funny.
yeah, I like it.
Oh,
Um,
I respect it.
yeah, you just gotta have fun, you know.
Yeah, you hate the teams that you hate.
Yeah.
There was some delusional Red Wings fans that I saw on Reddit talking about, like, what's it gonna take for us to get Draisaitl? Because like we could totally trade for Draisaitl. I was like, no, we're not trading for fucking Draisaitl, guys. Do you
Dude,
realize what we would have to give Edmonton to get Draisaitl?
you know what you have to give Edmonton to get a look at Draisaitl?
Yeah, it's a lot more than a dirty hand job. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Mario 3-year deal with the Sens.
Okay.
I was bugging one of my coworkers who he takes the Whalers stuff a little seriously, so I know I can always get a good reaction out of him. Was my first one was like, man, I couldn't imagine losing to Florida and giving them their first cup. Like, we did that shit. We clapped them out in 5. And
Yeah,
whew,
we finished that off early.
that was a nice and easy sweep under the rug. Give them a nice win at home so they feel good about themselves. And then I was like, so Draisaitl, huh? I hear we're moving on from a couple guys, so he can fit right in next to Jack Eichel. And I was like, then you got the 2 best players in the league next to each other. And he was like, you never really fucking Vegas. I was like, never say never.
Yeah.
I said Thomas Earl will never be a Vegas Golden Knight, and here we are.
Warren Fogle to LA, 3 years,
That's a
three.
good move.
Yeah,
Take him from Edmonton. LA's just trying to build a team that can beat Edmonton in the playoffs. Is low-key what they're doing. They're like, you know what? 3 years in a row is unacceptable. We're going in for the fourth time, and the fourth time's a charm. They're doing the Toronto strategy where Toronto doesn't build a team to win in the playoffs. They build a team to beat Boston, and
yeah,
they can't do that.
which is not the strategy you should have because
Well,
it
they can't
hasn't
even do
worked.
that. The
Yeah,
team, I love it. They've built a team that can beat Tampa Bay, and a very injured Tampa Bay team at that.
yeah, and they struggled. They almost lost it to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that was sick.
I really wanted them to lose to Tampa Bay just because it would be so funny. Oh, do you love how like people are now talking about the Red Wings first round prospect of going like that's going to be a fun one for announcers to say?
Oh, the Norwegian guy, yeah.
Yeah, the last name.
The dude's got fucking 4 of them. He's got a Drew McGinley name, man.
Well, it's not necessarily the amount of names, it's the actual last name and how you say it and how
Close it is.
yeah, to some other words that maybe aren't as, loved.
Appreciated on there.
Yeah. It's
I
like
I think they're just gonna use that second last name, like the one that begins with B.
yeah, yeah.
I think that's what they'll just call him. Be like, hey man, for our careers, this is what we're calling you.
So Steve Kerr, the basketball coach?
His son's name is Nick.
Yeah, yeah, and so he's also a coach. He eventually said he's changing his name to Nicholas, and he wants people to refer to him as Nicholas. So when the broadcast
So he's
talks about him,
saving our lives.
yeah, he's basically going out there and saying this is Nicholas Kerr, as opposed to Nick.
It's still, yeah, it's still.
It's
Steve
getting,
Kerr knew exactly what he was doing.
oh, undoubtedly he had to have.
Like, well, he was playing basketball for a bit. Like his kid was playing, and the announcers were like, "There's
0% chance we're saying his name, his first name
Oh.
and his last."
They're like, "There's Kerr." Well, let me tell you about Nick.
Yeah. There's a kid who was a high school football player. His name is Noah, and then it's Knigga.
Oh yeah, but the K isn't the K silent?
Not what the family says. The family says it.
You gotta change that last name.
It's
No,
Ka.
but that sounds even worse.
But it's hilarious. It's like we're starting to get that trifecta of just names you can't say.
It's like they're trying to say my, but they're like, oh, well, I guess it's Ka. What's up, Ka?
Hey, what up, Ka?
Oh, yeah, dude. You know what? Sometimes there's a point where it's like, if that's my last name, I'm just changing it.
Yeah.
Legally, we're removing a couple letters. Probably the second letter. And like a couple more.
We're just changing them all. Rearranging them.
Yeah, we'll play Scrabble or some shit.
Exactly.
Do an anagram or something. Michael Amadio gets 2.6 from Ottawa.
3 years, 2.6, yeah.
It's a me, Amadio.
It's a me, Joe Pesci.
My name is Amadio. Huh. Well, I hope we do something.
Just the entire day, the Vegas Golden Knights do nothing.
Well, so we grabbed that Schmid dude to like be our backup, and they just fucking let him walk and give him a contract. They traded for him to be the backup. And they're like, well, you know what? Screw you.
So Nhl is your top
Number 1.
and then who's your number 2?
Well, it's supposed to be Schmid, but it's not. So now it could still be Schmid. Like the census says he'll probably sign something, but they want to work it out.
Yep.
But I don't know because Jiri Patera is gone as well. So I don't really know what our goaltending situation is, which is why I wanted a goalie. If
Jack
we couldn't
Campbell's
get this
available.
Schmid, we would turn Jack Campbell into a Vezina winner, and you know that.
That would
Look
be
at what we did
so
to Aiden
funny.
Hill. Look at what we did to Aiden Hill.
Yeah.
You think we couldn't do that to Jack Campbell? We would do that to Jack Campbell and send him back to Edmonton, and he would suck. Like, hey, we heard you guys need a goalie. We'll give you Campbell for Draisaitl. Straight 1-for-1. And I would be like, yeah, sure. And then
That move
Draisaitl.
right there is what happens in like NHL franchises where it's just like, oh, like he just has a historically great season. He's only like an 82 overall in the game, but I'm gonna trade him because his value is so high because of his stats. And then yeah,
Yeah.
I love how easy it is to trade for McDavid in the NHL games because they know like every player wants to eventually put him on their team. They're like, we'll just make it easy.
Yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do, you know?
Oh hell yeah, brother. Beep 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 beep. Eh.
The only thing I want NHL games to do, let me import my own music. Because God forbid you have any music that's worth listening to on any NHL game.
Yeah, like why not just have a feature already of where you just team up with Spotify and
Yeah.
just like
Let
allow
me
me
put in
to
my playlist.
exactly. It shouldn't be that hard.
Like in NHL, I don't know if I can, or in MLB, sorry. I haven't tried it this year, but they let you import your own songs.
Didn't know
It's
that.
great.
Cool. Yeah.
I don't know if it's still, I remember doing it in like MLB 17 to 20. I remember doing it all the time. I haven't really done it since. I don't really care.
And it's a feature
But
all the sports games used to have too.
yeah, I feel like it's just such an easy thing. I'd be like, hey man, just put in your own music, just put it on a USB, label it right, and put it in.
Phrasing.
Because if I can do that, I'm gonna see if I can do that again on my MLB game.
But yeah, I just think that, PlayStation already has you be able to connect to Spotify and you can listen to it on your PlayStation. Why
Well,
not
yeah,
just
but like cool walk-up songs, you know.
yeah,
Because I don't listen to music when I'm playing Be a Pro on MLB because I try and focus a little bit.
what would be your walk-up song?
Hmm. Honestly, low key, right now, I'd probably rock a Sweet Escape.
Okay. Okay.
I think I'd go, like in the dog days of summer, you got to go for like a sweet white girl music song, you know?
Just something to kind of get casual.
Yeah, white girl music.
Yeah,
Get it going. I'd
little
probably do,
Olivia Rodrigo, Tate
no,
McRae.
real, no. Go for some real ones. Real white girl music.
I don't listen to
White girl
white girl
music that
music,
guys
so
listen to.
fair. I don't listen to any of that, so I'm just throwing shit out there.
Oh well, here, let me. I've started making a playlist. Let me tell you.
Okay. Okay.
So you could do da, 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 TikTok. I wouldn't, but like you could. Since you've been gone, that's a good one. I'd probably throw that in there. What else do you got? Only girl in the world.
Okay. Okay.
Um, and then I think there'd be like at one point I'd probably have a serious one in there at some point. I'd be very petty though, you know.
I'm trying to think what would be mine. Because I know for walkout music, it was a different story. I had a playlist for that, and I still have that playlist.
And it's very different because walk out music for like fighting, you listen to the whole song, whereas like your walk up song, you'll listen to about 20 seconds of it.
Exactly.
So might as well just go for some fun, you know. What else we got on the playlist here?
I hear you. I hear you.
Let's take a quickie dicky look.
Quickie dicky.
Quickie dicky. Yes, we just got a promiscuous. Can't go wrong with some promiscuous. Adventure of a Lifetime. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Cowboy Take Me Away. Green Light. Green Light's good.
No, you definitely got to have the good looking by Dixon Dallas.
Naps.
If you know, you know.
I know.
Fuck off.
It'd be a good one. If I know what my most petty one would be if like if I was on a losing team and they traded away players that like the only other good players and it just kind of left me, I'd have me, myself, and I solo ride until I die until they trade me, and it would
I'm
just
on.
be that.
I walk this lonely road.
Yeah, I would go so petty and just be like, I'll switch the songs if you either A, put a cast around me, or send me elsewhere, please.
For the love of God, please.
Anything. My MLB Be a Pro right now, like the road to the show, killing it. By the way, I'm in. I write down my stuff, so I like know just how good I am. Like I keep track of the league, so I know. So I was drafted by the Dodgers. I made my pretty good, right? Made my
Which
debut
round though?
in
Which round?
round 7. It's very hard to be like a top 3 round draft pick in MLB. Like you basically have to go. You'd be on rookie mode and you go 4 for 4 with 4 home runs in every game,
Yeah,
which is just so boring. So I made my debut in 2026. The Dodgers won the World Series in 2026, but I was injured because I had broke my leg. So I didn't get a play in the playoffs.
Aren't you a
I played
catcher in
about
that in this one too?
no, this is shortstop.
Oh, okay, okay.
I played about 3 months in the season. I won Rookie of the Year. Just so I got a free year of service time from it, which was pretty sick. 2027, my first full season. The Twins won the World Series. We got eliminated in the NLCS by the fucking Reds. I won the MVP, the batting title, the Hank Aaron Award, a Silver Slugger. 2028, my third full year, or my second full year, my third year. After moving the difficulty up even more because I thought I was fine where I was, turns out I wasn't. I had an even better year. I won the MVP again, had the batting title, won the Hank Aaron, had a Silver Slugger, and I added a Gold Glove for the first time in my life playing MLB. And we lost in the NLCS to the Reds again. I went to arbitration. They were like, I was making like 780, maybe 900, and they're like, "Here's a mill," and I was like, "Nah." I offered to sign a 2-year deal at 35, and they were like, "No." So I put in for 15 mil for my first year of arbitration, and I won it. And I was like, "Get fucked," because guess what? Now I'm just gonna run you guys dry. Now we're starting to lose, and I don't know what to do.
So my pitcher my pitcher be a pro mode got drafted in the 13th round to the Cardinals, right?
Those are good.
Yeah, no, they're a good franchise, and so made my way through and eventually got into the MLB. Played 12 games my first season with the Cardinals, had two no hitters in that time, which was
Nice,
sick. One rookie of the year.
sick.
They going into year number 2, I'm sitting there thinking to myself like, oh, they're gonna put me second in the rotation, fifth in the rotation. I was like, all right, cool guys,
Oh
sure.
yeah, they so base it off of your overall and not your actual talent.
Exactly. Currently, right now, I am leading every pitching category except for saves because I'm a starting pitcher. I have an additional 2 more no hitters in this season, and yeah, we're doing quite well. And throughout the entire season, I think I'm like a 76 overall. And
Nice.
yeah, haven't touched it in probably 2 or 3 weeks at this point, just because I've been doing other stuff. But yeah,
I find pitcher road to the shows are very much you play it for a bit and you don't touch it for a while.
yeah.
Um, Stars sign Casey DeSmith, 3 years, one apiece, and then the Devils signed some dude named Nosen.
Pittsburgh signed Matt Rylechuk for 1 year, 2.75 mil.
Sure. I do have a catcher. I'm on the Rays. I just made my debut, but it's not really a super duper fun one, just because it's the Rays. I've definitely enjoyed my shortstop more,
Fair.
uh, just because I can do a little bit more with it. Like my defense opportunities are very limited on catching, and they don't really make sense. Like they they have like bunts off of dudes who have like a 1 speed, and it just doesn't make sense. You got dudes with 20 speed and like 3 steal trying to like steal off of you. It's not
Yeah.
fun. So I just do shortstop and do a little bit more. Plus the Dodgers are pretty fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
The
okay.
losing right now isn't, but
I gotta ask: is Cody Bellinger like the highest player to ever play in the MLB? Because he
yeah,
looks fucking high
yeah. No,
all the time.
the joke since he came up in 17 is he's hardcore stoner, dude.
Yeah.
Everyone joked that he was going to sign in Colorado when he got the chance. Um, him and Gosman. Gosman is like a known stoner dude. It's sick because sometimes he interviews on the Sportsnet broadcast on his days off, and his eyes are red. And you're like, okay, so you
Yeah.
popped him a little bit before.
Yeah, like you're having a few gummies and
We know what's happening.
yeah. But yeah,
Uh,
like I've been noticing like the first time that I ever watched the game, I was like this dude's squinting hardcore and I'm just watching it more and more and I'm like
listen to
dude just looks high and eventually I was like typing in Cody Bellinger cuz I was wanting to look at some stats and it said Cody Bellinger weed. I was like I'm a look at this because I think so. And then it brought me through like a rabbit hole of just like interviews that he's done where he just looks high out of his mind. He was on like Jimmy Kimmel and someone was asking him. He was like, "Oh, are you stoned when you play?" He goes, "Listen, I am not stoned when I play. Like I just look like this." Go back to the Little League World Series when I was playing. Like I have the exact same face, and I wasn't getting blazed out of my mind at like 13. I was like, all right, like,
all right, buddy. I got a couple coming for you.
awesome.
This is when he was on the Dodgers. This is like 2019, 2020 Cody Bellinger, when the memes were at the highest peak of his life. Probably like him. They aren't actual memes. It's just like photos that people like would use as memes.
Oh yeah,
Because
I've seen these. Yeah,
yeah, those are sick. I love those.
but yeah, he just looks fucking blitzed out of his mind.
Oh man, TikTok at that time was sick too. They're like, "Hey Cody, you got a hit," and this dude who looked really a lot like Bellinger was like, "Hit what, man? I just hit." And they're like, "No, Cody, you gotta go hit. Like it's your at bat." And he's like,
Oh,
"Oh, I thought you meant hit this."
Cubs are
You guys are gonna
interesting.
be selling pretty quickly.
Yeah, that
I'd,
team
I'd
is.
trade Bellinger if I were you guys, personally.
I think they probably will as well, just because he is still viewed as a good player, just maybe not necessarily what he was when he was with the Dodgers. But the biggest thing with the Cubs right now is that their starting pitching is amazing. It seems like
Your bullpen sucks.
yeah, like once you take away the starting pitcher, it's like and we're fucked.
That's like us too.
And but then at least with the Blue Jays, you're having a little bit more consistency with hitting. I
Yeah, right
think.
now, but our pitching's hit like a fucking shit show.
Yeah, but it's going to be really interesting to see what they do.
The
And
trade deadline could be fun. It could be really boring.
it could be. I don't want them to immediately like sell off a bunch of different players, but I know just kind of what they're doing right now. They need more slugging.
Plus, Cody Bellinger gives a chance for Pete Crow Armstrong to like really actually try and be a big leaguer instead of going up and down, up and down, up and down.
Well, he's been up. He's only gone up and down twice this year. what the way that they're developing Pete right now is that they're basically going, we have Seiya, we have Hap, we have Ballinger, and then we also have Pete. So we essentially just need all three of those guys, or all four of those guys, to essentially just go in and out. And it's like, all right, so who's gonna be the DH today, and who's gonna kind of go where? It's like Pete's always gonna play center field unless we're DHing him, and then it basically just goes, is Hap gonna play today? Is Seiya gonna play today? Or is Belly gonna play? They've just been kind of rotating that lineup. So at least PCA is actually playing every day in the majors, whether it's being his bat or his defense. But it's kind of sad that, Michael Bush is our best player at the moment. But then again, you traded for him, and people were like, he's gonna be your best player in a couple years. But now it's like, oh, he's just our best player.
Yeah, I just think PCA is one of those guys where he's a quadruple A player right now. He's not quite MLB, but he's not good at, or he's too good for triple A.
Yeah, like when they brought him down the last time, he instantly went out and was just like, he got like 4 homers in like the 5 games that he was
Yeah.
there, and it's like, okay, we can't have him there. We know what his defense is, and we know what his on base is like, because he's apparently like the second fastest player in all of baseball. So it's
Yeah,
like,
he's
you
quick.
gotta use that. And
Oh,
also the
oh.
energy that he has apparently brought to the locker room. Everyone's just like, okay, we love having this guy here. We want to have him here because he's just such a good guy.
He's
Looks
so
like
awesome.
he looks like he fucking is on coke all the time.
Well, I mean, to play for the Cubs, you kind of gotta be.
Hey, the Cubs are a respectable organization.
Okay.
They're not the White Sox.
I didn't say you were the White Sox. If you think you need Coke for the Cubs, what do you think you need for the White Sox?
Meth.
A gun.
Poor Luis Robert. 'Cause it's gonna
He's
be
not even playing good enough to get a good return, so they're just gonna hold him.
Well, the thing is that, like, and again, obviously, I'm very connected into the Chicago media world. Your jaws drop. So, like, what's happening?
Chandler Stevenson is expected to sign with the Kraken on a 7-year deal.
What?
Huh?
That's out there.
It's from this like Puck Media thing that does contracts for people.
Yeah.
But Chris Johnston reposted it. A 7-year deal? Dude, I don't think Chandler Stevenson's had a deal over 3 years before.
How old is Chandler Stevenson?
30. He had a 4-year deal with us that he signed in 2020.
Huh.
7-year deal for a guy who had 51 points in 75 games?
Yeah. Gross.
Okay, well, you do you, Seattle.
I guess they're trying to be Vegas.
Oh, we signed Zach Ashton Reese. We did something. On a 1-year, 2-way contract. Sick. Got some depth.
Yeah.
Hey, you need depth to win. Depth wins championships.
That it does.
Not gonna complain about that. It's a sick that it's a 2-way deal, so we can move them in and around.
Yeah. Those are always good to have.
A 7-year deal for Chandler Stevenson's nuts.
If for me, anytime I see a 30-year-old get a 7-year deal, or like an 8-year deal. I again, like I know I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream, but I just sat back and I went, there's no possible way that this works out well.
Like, I like Stevenson, but I don't like him for 7 years.
I like Steven Stamkos getting a 4-year deal. Like he's gonna be 39 when that deal comes to an end, and you're paying him $8 million a year. Like to me, that's just batshit crazy.
So he has, in 9 years, he's 270 points in 495 games, averaging about half a point a game,
Yeah.
or a point every 2 games. 89 goals, 181 assists. Doesn't scream 7-year deal.
No. My goodness, that's a ballsy contract.
7-year deal.
God damn.
Evan, I want to see the term on this. That's nuts.
Oh, insanely nuts.
I like that people think we're rebuilding because we lost mediocre players in Jonathan Marchessault. This team still has Eichel, Stone, Hurdle, Barbashev, Hanifin, Petriangelo.
7 years, 6.25 million for Chandler Stevenson. That is just.
What the fuck are they?
That is yucky poo poo.
I mean, like, good for. Yeah, no, good for Stevenson. Good for Seattle to spend money, but the fuck,
Yeah.
the guy with the Joe Biden reply. I'm gonna save that. I feel like I'll need that photo one day. So
oh yeah, it's
well,
a great meme.
I might as well save it now. I'm gonna use that. If anyone ever sends me like something that I don't know what they're talking about,
Just
guess what? That
Joe
photo's
Biden,
going.
Dallas,
This is
great.
my new reply to everything.
Oh, it's so good. But Casey DeSmith goes to the Stars, 3 years, $1 million. So the Stars tandem is Ottinger and DeSmith. That is so so it's a 3 years, $3 million total deal for a bat. Like that's an insanely good deal.
I'm still shook by this Chandler Stevenson thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in shock. Sources say the Kraken have landed one of the biggest fish and agreed to terms. Chandler Stevenson is not one of the biggest fish. Cervelli, I think you've misunderstood here.
I'm taking a little bit of the crack.
For the Kraken.
Gee, that is just
There,
such
I,
an
I have grabbed my other one as well for when I'm really confused.
Yep. They're both classic.
They're both.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah, really. Sick. Awesome. Well, thanks, Joe Biden. I needed the memes.
Of course. He's kind of going out there and just laying a lot of good stuff for us.
I mean, where would we be without U.S. politics in the meme world? Like,
They're only going to get stronger and stronger as the weeks go on.
too bad each opponent's going to get weaker and weaker because they're going to be 90.
Anthony Stellares has signed a 2-year deal with the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh, that's like 2 hours old.
Oh,
Not really. It's like an hour old.
yeah.
I was assuming Stevenson would get like 4 years,
5
three to
million.
four mil a year, maybe five, depending on where he goes. 6.25 is insane. Over 7 years. He'll be 37.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good for Chandler, man. Shout out that dude.
It'd be like that.
Two-time Stanley Cup champion. Never's going to win one again, but he'll make a lot of money.
You know what? Sometimes that's all players want to have happen is once you get that
Oh,
ring, time to get that dollar bill.
you get your rings, and then you get financial security the rest of your life,
Yep.
rest of your grandchildren's life. 7 years at 6.25. Let's just do the math real quick.
I mean, it's an okay deal.
It's going to get basically $44 million by the end.
Yeah.
That's pretty good if you ask me.
Compared to other sports in North America, though, that's nothing. Like, that's walking around money.
But still, I'd take $44 million.
The fact that Daniel Jones is making $45 million a season, and like that's for 1 year, and he's making more than that guy's entire contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that a bench player in the NBA makes probably like 45 million.
Like the average salary in the NBA is like $10 million a year, which is hilarious to think about.
The NBA is such a joke. I can't think of a league I hate more than the NBA.
I don't like them for a lot of their contracts. The play is fine.
I just think it's so boring. It's all about like who can flop the most now, like who's gonna pull the foul more. And it's so predictable because it's just not fun. I don't like watching the NBA because you kind of know who's gonna be in the final for the most part every year.
Yeah.
Because it takes one player to put a team into the final.
Well, the Celtics are likely going to win next year as well because they have the exact same team.
Yeah.
Sam Steele, 1 year, $1.2 million extension with the Stars.
Nothing new. There's Max Jones to Boston.
Yep.
Whoever the hell that is.
Not a large deal.
Stevenson. Fuck me. I'm gonna go take a piss. Just go think
No.
about my life choices.
That's only going to make you start drinking. Five years, five. Is that did that just happen? Casey DeSmith. Yeah, I already knew about that one. Might as well read emails. And he's back. He also had his cock out.
What? Matt Dumba to Dallas. Ryan Lomberg to the Flames. Garrett Hathaway to Philly, or staying in Philly. Casey DeSmith, Dallas. Just out here reading what we got.
Oh, yeah. Ugh. Free agent frenzy. Hathaway extension in Philly. Skinner's trending. Why is Skinner trending?
Jeff Skinner or Stuart Skinner? Because if it's Jeff Skinner, I can tell you why.
Yeah, think it's Jeff Skinner.
Edmonton's like, oh my god, we have a chance. And this all this quietness on Vegas's front is not going to help the Mitch Marner rumors.
No.
If anything, it's going to make them even louder.
Lombard signs with the Flames. You already said that.
The
fuck did he do?
Date? Let's go just take a look through Vegas Marner, see what people are saying.
Ryan Lombard played in 75 games last year, had 7 total points. And the Flames paid him how much? 2 years,
$2 million.
For 7 points. Homeboy,
Man.
what? Oh, he was a Calgary Flame at one point, so they brought him back.
And do what you gotta do, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. Guess he really just wanted to come back to Calgary and play some average hockey, but.
Well, was he gonna go anywhere else though? Is the real question.
Fair. Yeah. The $2 million a year seems really high. Like Cody Bellinger high.
Yeah. Seven-year deal. I still can't get over that contract.
Yeah, that's a lofty one. That's a ballsy contract.
Joel Edmondson, very likely to end up in LA 4 years, 3.85. Was almost in Boston, Utah, and St. Louis.
Elias Lindholm, again, I know this was a long time, but 7 times 7.75. That's a big contract for Lindholm.
He's only making 1.25 more than Chandler Stevenson.
Yeah.
I think that's the most shocking part for me on that. Like, at least Lindholm's had, like, 30-goal seasons.
Yeah, he's had some good years. Ian
I
Cole,
think
the
Chandler
3.1.
Stevenson's had a 30-goal season. Includes a $500,000 signing bonus in year 1 for Ryan Lomberg. So 2.5 for year 1, 2 mil for year 2.
Yeah.
You see how much Toronto paid today for like signing bonuses?
No.
Nuts. They paid Matthew like 12 million for his signing bonus. Marner got a 7.2.
Ooh.
Well, so that's what they do. Their base salary is so low, right?
Yeah.
But the signing bonus is
Just
nuts.
massive. The only way that they can have any of those guys.
Maple Leafs signing bonus. Today's also Bobby Bonilla Day. So shout out that.
Yes.
Maple Leafs signing bonus on Twitter. Here, I'm gonna find it.
Absolutely bizarre. Talked about that one.
Here it is. Happy signing bonus day. Matthews, $15.925 million. Nylander, $10 million. Marner, $7.25 million. Tavares, $7 million. Domi, 3.5. Liljegren, 2.4. Yanrock, 1.325. And Camp, 1.325.
God damn.
God damn is right. Holy shit. A lot of money.
Those are some motherfucking money.
How much is Stamkos getting?
8 million a season.
8 million. Okay. Because Marchessault, who is a way better player, is only getting 5 or 5.5. Stevenson's getting more a year and more years. I need to figure out what the fuck is going on in Seattle. Although it does make sense because they just like Stevenson is a Saskatoon kid, and then so is Berkeley. So maybe that had something to do with it.
Yeah.
5-year, 5 point. Like that might be something to have along with it. Marchessault's 33. Never mind. I thought he was like 28.
I knew he was a little bit older, up in that range.
Anyways, Marchessault had 42 goals last year. He had 30 in 21-22. He had 28 the year before. Interesting. I don't know. Thank God I'm not the one who has to pay money because I would have balked at a lot of prices today.
Oh, yep. Yeah. Our favorite Flames fan is extremely happy with the Lombo signing.
Good for him.
Yep. Another Brown lockdown. Josh Brown, 3 years with the Oilers.
1 AAV.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Tanner Zaczynski
for a 2-year deal worth $775,000.
Ooh.
Who the fuck is that dude? I feel like a Flyer. Oh, never mind. 27. Playing up and down. Oh, he was playing in the AHL last year. So we didn't give him a 2-year deal, a 2-way deal. He didn't touch the NHL last year. Oh my goodness. He had 44 points in 49 games though in the AHL, so maybe he can
And
figure
that's who
something
the
out.
Knights just signed?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's not terrible. Maybe he can figure something out.
I mean, playing anywhere but Philly, your game takes another level.
Yeah.
Also, weird caption by the Oilers. Hey, another Brown lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
It's a little sketchy right there, fellas.
Another what?
Maybe use
another
some
2 Browns and maybe 2 Skinners. He looks white to me.
That's a great caption. That is a great comment.
Semtex. Shout out Semtex. My poop was brown today, says Leafs Forever. So, another what? Thank God someone might want to rethink that title.
No, the title's great. What are you talking about, guys?
Brown Town. Another Brown. You can't call them that.
Absolute gold.
Another what lockdown? Racist as fuck. No wonder y'all choked it. Okay, grow up, Blake. Fucking Blake.
Blake's a
Blake's a
yeah.
bitch.
Yeah.
And Penguins have had extension talks with Crosby and Marcus Peterson.
Can Crosby extend much more?
Honestly, because he's what, 36 now?
Yeah, I think so. Sidney Crosby is 36 years old. He signed a 12-year deal worth $104 million. Fuck me. Oh, he's only got 1 more year left. So they'd probably get him to 40 and then say, fuck off. Would be my guess.
Yeah.
It would make sense. Keep him to 40, let him play as long as Ovechkin plays, and then say, hey, man, leave.
Retire, please, for the love
Please
of God.
go away. What are his numbers? He's not close to any. Is he close to breaking anything that would like extend them to that? He'll hit 600 goals this year. He's close to 1,600 points. But after that, it's. I mean, in 4 years, could he hit 400 points? Then he gets to 2,000. That could be something that they play for, but like, is he going to hit 100 points a year in Pittsburgh?
That's bold.
He had 94 last year.
Because he needs how much to get to 2,000?
400? Well, he's at 1,596, so he needs 404. Say he plays 5 years.
Yeah.
He could do it. That'd be the only thing I think of.
And that would put him second all-time?
I don't know. Just puts him at 2,000 points.
So as I look here, all-time NHL points, obviously Waino is there. So yeah, if he can do that over the next couple years, he'd be second all-time in points. Because yeah,
so maybe
record,
that's what they're looking at. Like, hey, you're close to 2,000.
We want to get you there because currently, right now, number 2 is Jeremy Yager at 1,921 points, and I still think it's hilarious that Wayne Gretzky had 1,963 assists, and that's higher than anyone else's point total
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Steve Yzerman sitting there at number 7 all time. Gotta love it. Gordie Howe at number 4. Crosby, yeah. So, I mean, like, to be the second player all time to get to 2,000 points would obviously be an achievement.
Yeah. So that's probably what they'd look at for an extension. Be like, hey, man, we'd love for you to do it here and retire a Penguin. Please don't be weird like Steven Stamkos and go to Nashville. He's going to look so stupid there.
It's gonna look weird, yeah.
You're going to look at his hockey reference, like his career numbers in like the last like 4 years and be like, Nashville. It's going to stick out like a
Sore thumb.
whore in church.
I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, but like, you know what I mean.
Yeah. So Connor McDavid right now in his career, he is at 982 points. So
he'll hit 1,000 next year.
Oh,
He'll hit 1,000 in the first 10 games.
Yeah, because he needs 18, so he'll probably hit it in the first like 5 games. To be honest with you.
So, Isles announced they get Anthony Duclair in a 4-year deal. Eric Gustafson to Detroit, 2 years, $2 million a year.
Eric Gustafson, okay.
Teuvo Teravainen, 3 years, 5.4 to Chicago.
Yep, we knew about that one.
Okay.
A Swedish defenseman going to the Red Wings. Who would have guessed?
Not me.
Not the Rangers defenseman that I thought was going to be coming to Chicago or to Detroit, but sure.
Gotta do what you gotta do, mate.
Well, he's a left shot, which is something that Detroit needed. Yeah, I'm not upset with it. It's just one of those things where it's just like a good move. Brendan Smith to Dallas. No details yet on that one, but yeah, Connor McDavid right now, he's just shy of 1,000 points. He's essentially there. He's 27 years old, so he's done that in 10 years. So if he plays another 10 years, he'll be 37.
He'll play top 40.
Yeah, probably.
So I'll give him 13 years.
He's done the last 4 years in a row of over 100 points. Obviously, he had that 153 point season, 132.
He could do that a couple more times. That'd be fun.
150 plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know what he should do? And I know people are like, oh, it's more than a Connor McDavid team. If he shot the puck 50% of the time more, he'd have 200-point seasons.
Well, you just look back at last year, at the 2022-23 season, of where he scored 64 goals. You just look at that and go, man, if he really wanted to and shoot the puck more, he would win the Rocket Richard every year.
Yeah.
Like, he showed that he can be a 64 goal scorer. That's insane.
Yeah. And like, imagine he goes and he puts up 70 goals next year with, say, 90 assists.
Yeah.
That's a 160-point season.
Yeah. Let's just say he started to average 50 goals a year, which is something that he could easily do. Granted, he
averages about 90 assists.
Yeah.
Let's say about now.
So 140 points every year if he just averages, 50 goals and 90 assists a year. That's, yeah.
What's Austin Matthews at? Matthews is at No, it's career playoff. I don't give a fuck about his playoff numbers. Are you kidding me? His career, he's at 368 goals in 562 games played. So he's gonna hit 400 next year because he's 32 off.
Yeah.
And he averages 60 goals a season right now. Has he ever had a season where he's had under 30 goals? He's never had a season under 34 goals. I like that a man who puts up almost 70 goals struggles to get 100 points.
Well, it's because that's pretty much all he's good for is just to hit goals.
But I mean, fair enough. If you're going to score 70 goals a year, you can't really complain too much.
Yeah, so
Riley Smith to the Rangers in a part of a trade.
we have a trade, folks.
We got a trade.
Sounds like Pittsburgh is trading Riley Smith to the Rangers. Clear. So yeah, Austin Matthews, he reached his pinnacle of 69 nice goals this year. He got 38 assists for 107 points. He's only reached the 100-point mark twice in his career.
And he had to score 60 goals to do it.
Yeah, so both times that he scored 60 goals were the only years that he got 100 plus points. But fuck.
You remember when they were like showing like the MVP races, and it was like McKinnon, McDavid, Kucherov, and then they would like try and hide Matthews in the corner. It was like 60 goals, 80 points.
Yeah.
And I was like, get the hell out of here.
Well, there was a guy that I have worked with, and he at one point tweeted out, "I'm tired of people thinking that Austin Matthews isn't better than McDavid." And I just looked at him and I was like, my dude, like, yeah, he can score 60 goals on a consistent basis. Like, I'm
But
not.
so could McDavid if he wanted to.
Yeah,
He's shown it.
But the difference is that, you know, Austin Matthews goes out there, scores goals, and it's great. The only way you're going to win games is by scoring goals. But McDavid also puts up 80 assists every single year consistently. Like, to say that McDavid isn't the best hockey player in the NHL is you're making a very silly argument.
Yeah. Well, look at the Leafs. They do better in the playoffs when Matthews isn't playing.
That organization.
They do. I'm not wrong.
Oh yeah. Well, just you look at their big three contracts of like Marner, Matthews, Nylander, and like who's their other big contract there that I'm forgetting that's on their first line.
Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Tavares.
Yeah, thank you. Tavares is just...
And then there's Morgan Riley as well.
Yeah. But yeah, like,
but he doesn't need to count.
Like those four guys basically did nothing in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And you're paying them how much money? Like more than 50% of your cap?
I guess so. I like that the Leafs are like, hey, we want to win. The fans are like, we also want to win. They're like, what do you want us to do? Well, we need to score in the playoffs, so trade Marner. Guess who has the most playoff points out of the core? Marner.
Yep. We always joke about Mitch the bitch, but it's like he's kind of casually the best of the bunch.
One bad round. He had one bad playoff run this year. And they're like, get the fuck rid of him. Matthews, I think, had less points than Marner in the playoffs this year.
Well, let's take a peeksy-poo.
I'll go Marner, you go Matthews.
Alright.
Oh, never mind. I'm so wrong. Marner only had 3 points this year in the playoffs.
Well, Matthews wasn't much better with 4.
But Marner played 7 games.
Matthews played 5. Yeah, so
Go to elite prospects. We're gonna run through this, okay?
you want me to go Austin Matthews elite prospect?
Yeah, if you could.
All right, yeah. Okay.
So, starting in 2016-17,
2016,
First year.
2017?
the first year, Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner both were on the team.
Okay.
They're both rookies. They made the playoffs. Marner played 6 games.
Yep.
Matthews played 6, I assume.
Matthews played 6.
Marner had 1 goal, 3 assists for 4 points.
Matthews had 4 goals, 1 assist for 5 points.
Okay, so basically equal.
Yeah.
Then we got to go to 17-18. They play 7 games. Marner goes 7 games, 2 goals, 7 assists, 9 points.
Matthews 7 games, 1 goal, 1 assist for 2 points.
So bitch.
Yeah, Matthews definitely got shit on that occasion. So we're tied 1-1.
Yeah. 2018-19. In the playoffs, Marner goes 7 games, 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points.
Matthews 7 games, 5 goals, 1 assist for 6 points. So Matthews is up 2-1.
There we go. 2019-2020. This was the really weird. Like that was the buy-in year. They played like Columbus and someone else. Do we want to count that?
Was that year or was that 2021?
That was the bubble year. No, that was the bubble year.
I mean, yeah, it's playoffs.
'Cause
Playoffs is
21.
playoffs.
They lost to the Leafs or they lost to the Lightning in the first round.
Okay, but yeah, playoffs are still playoffs.
Okay.
So you know,
Okay,
5 games.
so
is...
in, the 2019-2020, there was 5 games, no goals, 4 assists for 4 points.
Matthews 5 games, 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points. So Matthews is up 3-1.
2020-2021. This was Boston, I think. Boston or Tampa.
One of the
7
two.
games, no goals, 4 assists, 4 points.
Matthews 7 games, 1 goal, 4 assists, 5 points. So it's 4-1.
Yeah.
So Matthews is currently
Gonna take it.
in.
He's gonna take it in the end.
Yes, in more ways than one.
21-22. 7 games, 2 goals, 6 assists, 8 points.
7 games, 4 goals, 5 assists for 9 points. So Matthews officially takes it.
Yeah, and then the final 22-23. Marner goes 11 games, 3 goals, 11 assists, 14 points.
Matthews 5 goals, 6 assists for 11 points. So it's 4-2, and then last year that makes
was
it
the 3, so 5-2.
Yeah.
Just
so Marner
intriguing.
is, definitely the less valuable player in that terms, but
Yeah. But the only year they've done well in the playoffs, Marner was their top scorer.
they on Elite Prospects
think
they
is
say
interesting.
our Austin Matthews is citizen or nation is USA and Mexico.
Yeah, I think so. That's right.
Is that?
Wasn't he born in? I thought he was born in Mexico.
No, he
and
was
then
born in
moved to
San Marino, California.
maybe his parents. Maybe one of his parents is Mexican.
Maybe. But let's do a quick Google.
I'm gonna look up early life. Actually, I'm gonna look up personal life. Matthew comes from a family of athletes. Father played college baseball. His uncle, and with his uncle, he briefly played in the NFL with the Dolphins.
Okay, so his mom is from Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was pretty sure that's right.
I guess that's just the first that I've heard about it. But so mom is from Mexico, dad is from America.
America.
Fuck yeah.
Oh. No, I'm not gonna say it actually. I'll text you.
Oh. Expecting a fire text.
I had to change it up a bit because I think what I was gonna say was wrong first.
So apparently going back in that Riley Smith trade is draft picks. We don't know exactly what draft picks they are yet, but they're
Probably
draft picks.
4th round pick, 5th, 3rd round pick maybe. Yuri Patera sends a 2-year deal with the Canucks. No, 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 no. Frank Cervelli, you did not, you fucking dick. No. Well,
What did he
then I
say?
don't think I believe it. Well, this Zegers account that I've like not followed, but like have looked at because he like tends to listen to these NHL guys. Apparently, Frank Cervelli notes that Vegas is poking on Marner because that's like kind of their big move that they want to do.
So I'm looking at Frank Saravelli's Twitter right now. I am not hearing anything on Mitch Marner.
But I think he's streaming
Oh yeah, no, he is. So
a hockey thing.
yeah,
So
daily face off.
daily face off. I'm gonna quickly go take a quick listen.
A queef.
Daily face off. Quick listen. It's just daily face off normal. Hey, is it daily face off fantasy?
I think it just might be daily face off.
Do they not go live on Twitter?
No, I think YouTube.
God, damn me.
God damn it, Bobby.
Damn it, Bobby.
Well, hasn't Marner been the guy that has been linked to Vegas quite a lot this offseason?
Yep.
Anthony Duclair signs a 4-year deal with the Islanders at 3.5 AAV. Okay. Wasn't Duclair with the he was with Tampa Bay this year, if I'm remembering correctly.
I thought he was with Florida, but I might be wrong.
Anthony honestly, I thought he might have been with the Sharks this year, to be honest. So this season, Anthony Duclair played with Tampa Bay and San Jose. So he spent 56 games with San Jose, so that's where he started the season. Then he must have gotten traded to Tampa Bay. Yep. But he is now officially with the Islanders, making 3.5 mil per season on a 4-year contract. So what are you hearing over there?
They're just, I don't know, they're talking about the Oilers. Frank Cervelli literally just sits in a corner with his phone.
Yeah,
So much
that doesn't
I got off
shock
him.
me in the slightest bit.
Like it would make sense, but
Like what are the Knights gonna have to give up to get
well, I
a
thought
Mitch Marner?
Thompson and Theodore were like the 1-2 package with like a pick to get Marner, but Thompson went to Washington.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't honestly. I think we're gonna try and hold some cap a bit, and like have a little bit more room to work with come trade deadline.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So a little bit of NFL, going into this. Someone who's in Bears Twitter land, he says that first Caleb Williams preseason check down pass is gonna hit like crack. I can't wait. Like, yeah, I agree.
Hmm.
It's gonna hit like a junkie to a crack pipe. Flames have made the Jake Bean sign official 2-year deal, 1.75 mil AAV. Thanks.
Still want Jeff Skinner if we can get Jeff Skinner, though.
I'll show you my Jeff Skinner.
It's the only one I'm looking at now.
Apparently, rapper Rick Ross involved in a brawl after Vancouver Festival.
I thought he was going a little crazy.
He was going a little cray-cray.
A little cray-cray.
News has definitely slowed down a tittle on the signing, but we knew that was going to happen. I feel like we're going to potentially see some big signings maybe trickle in.
I don't think there's many more big signings to do.
Yeah.
I think the biggest name available right now is probably Skinner. Skinner or Tarasenko.
Who is still available?
I definitely feel like I missed the Tarasenko extension. Like, I feel like he extended in Florida and we just are stupid.
Did we ever talk about the Oliver Ekman-Larsson deal to the Maple Leafs?
I just remember saying they overpaid for him and that they were just getting older instead of younger and they're not really doing what they do.
$14 million
The Maple Leafs are being the Maple Leafs.
Yes.
And that was just kind of my thing. Like, well, fuck them. Oh,
But yeah, the Blackhawks today, again, Tyler Bertuzzi, that was a big one. Teuvo Teravainen, that's another one. Pat Maroon, Alec Martinez, and Craig Smith all going to the Blackhawks. They've just been saying, you know what, like, we don't want to be a superstar team this year, but we want to be a lot better this year.
I want to make some noise.
Yeah, we want to surround Bedsy with a handful of really decent players to kind of help move this thing along, which I get. I respect it. That's what you kind of need to do.
Cervelli reiterates what he said earlier on the Daily Live podcast, saying they missed out on these other guys, so they're gonna go fucking hard for Marner, which he's gonna be a fucking golden knight. He's gonna be a golden knight and he's gonna be fucking great. No, we're gonna turn him into a man. He's a boy in Toronto. He's going to be a man in Vegas. You know the first thing they do when players come to Vegas?
Strip
Kelly McCrimmon grabs them and they're going to the club.
They're going to the Rippers, baby.
That's the first thing Jack Eichel saw. They red carpeted him right into the strip club. Why do you think he's so damn good? Why do you think he became a man?
They're gonna bring him in.
He's throwing out his back at the club.
They're gonna bring him in and go, listen, we know you had those Toronto strippers, but you ain't ever had these Vegas. I'm gonna show
strippers. You a real pair of titties.
We're gonna show you what it could really be like for you.
You want to become a man?
This is how you do it, boy.
That would be the way. I mean, we've done it before with, you hear from family, and this guy can't do it in the big time, and then he comes over and he does it in the big time in his first fucking year. Michael.
But is a Mitch Marner the type of move that the Vegas Golden Knights need?
Oh, God. Having Mitch Marner, yes, that's awesome, because he is still a good hockey player. Like, there's no denying he's a good player. 90 to 100 points a year. You can't say he's a bad hockey player.
He's above a point per game player.
I don't know if the mentality on him can handle Vegas, where it's like, hey, if you're not at your best, you suck, right? Like, it's just as bad in Toronto, but in Vegas, you're winning at every moment. Whereas in Toronto, like, he's got 8 months to think about what he did last year. In Vegas, you might have 2 months.
Yeah. Like
'Cause
you're
we
not
sure as hell
immediately
get
going
golfing early.
golfing. Yeah. Well, didn't you guys get bounced first round this year?
Yeah, but to a Dallas team that was supposed to be better than us anyways.
Yeah.
Like Stone was still hurt going into that. Like there's no way he was playing at 100%. And it was Thompson's first playoff run, but they choked. We should have won a game in Vegas, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
Good for Dallas. Other teams have to win.
Yep.
It's good because it gives Vegas a little bit of rest that they definitely didn't have last year, and we can just go into this year guns a blazing, pissed off.
Well, you just look at
Okay.
Florida; they're gonna be fucking exhausted because the amount of games that they've had to play over these last
Yep.
few years.
So is Edmonton. Dude, Edmonton came into the last year exhausted, and they had 8 months off. They added 2 more series and another month or two into that season, so they're gonna be dead tired.
Yeah,
Like
they're not.
David had, what was it, 5 months off, and he was still came into the season hurt, and he ended these playoffs hurt. You think he's gonna be able to come into the season healthy again? No.
I think they'll do fine.
They'll do fine. They'll be a
Honestly,
playoff team.
I do think the Oilers are the favorite to win the cup next year.
And they should be. There's no reason they shouldn't be. They're going to be the very similar team. And if McDavid wants to just be God himself, he can be. And if Draisaitl figured out how to play hockey in the Stanley Cup final, like they should be. And I hate that injured bullshit because Vegas went through injuries. Every team goes through injuries and win.
Well, yeah, you're not fully 100% healthy. But yeah, I saw a thing, it was a TikTok of where someone said Sidney Crosby lost his first Stanley Cup run. The very next year he went out there and won it. It was another Pittsburgh Penguins player that I'm forgetting the name of. Why the fuck am I doing that? He one of the all-time greats. Fuck. Okay. But yeah, pretty much the point that they were making in this one is that, the greats sometimes will ultimately end up losing their first Stanley Cup. And then they will go on the next year to win it, because that's kind of what happened. So, Mario Lemieux lost his first Stanley Cup and then went out there and won the next year. Same thing with Sidney Crosby. Now, a lot of people are like, all right, it's going to be Crosby. Or not Crosby, but McDavid lost his first Stanley Cup, knows what it takes, going to go out there and win it next year.
Sounds like an excuse. You know how many years it took Eichel to win a cup and win? You know how many years it took Eichel to win a cup in his actual attempts that he got at it? 1. Imagine how good Buffalo would be if they were just run like a proper organization and cared about people. They'd have Ryan O'Reilly. They could have Kyle Okposo. Forget who else they could have had. I think it was Reinhart or Bennett.
Yeah.
And Eichel. If they just gave Eichel that surgery, they'd be such a good team if they just fucking were smart.
They weren't dumb.
Yeah.
But this is Buffalo.
Like, what's next? Like, what? Oh, Owen Powers got a bad back. Yeah, well, fuck you. We'll send him our way. We'll take your scraps.
Honestly, Buffalo kind of feels like the Athletics of the NHL world, where they'll draft players, they'll have them be good, and then they just send them away.
Yeah, they're a farm team. The Flames are like our farm team. Are you kidding me?
Well, you only got
Actually,
Noah Hannafin from them.
Yeah, I guess. Actually, like, just Canadian NHL teams are like kind of our farm team. Mark Stone, Max Pacioretty, Noah Hannafin.
How much cap space do you guys have? Because you can't have much.
We have 9 mil.
You have how?
Because we lost like 8 players. We don't have Marchessault. We don't have Stevenson. Well, don't have Martinez. Don't have Patera. Well, he wasn't probably going to be on the NHL anyways. Traded Thompson. Got rid of Cotter. Only really have Holtz from that. The projected cap space once you get into the season and like they actually have a proper roster filled is like 1.8 in space. But like today they have 9 million that they can move around because the cap went up
as well, like 4 million for
Yeah,
this
so
year.
that definitely helped them out a little bit more.
We gained about 4 or 5 in space as well. So
Okay, I see. It's not completely fooked.
yeah, my new eye is on Tarasenko. I don't think it happens, but it'd be fun.
Yeah, be a nice dream.
Yeah. And you see, Cyrus is gonna be so happy.
Yeah.
Dude finally has a good team in front of him.
Sitting there crying like, thank God.
Dude, if they had that team against against Vancouver, they fucking pump them.
It's a much different conversation. I'll tell you that for sure.
I'll also say one thing. I don't put a whole lot of stock into Edmonton for one reason. An injured Vancouver team with a backup goalie almost pumped them out against a healthy Oilers.
Yeah, but every playoff series, you always have like every Stanley Cup winning or team that makes the Stanley Cup Finals. They always have one series of where they almost got pumped out.
Winnipeg in 5, Edmonton in 6, Dallas in 5, I think, maybe 6, Florida in 5. I get what you mean. Most teams that go on to do something are there is at one point they've probably been close to elimination where
They've had
they've
adversity that they've had to deal with.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like Florida last year came back 3-1 against Boston.
Yeah, which was huge.
I guess Florida did have adversity when they played Edmonton this year, but like other than that, they didn't really have it.
Pittsburgh is retaining 25% of Riley Smith's salary.
Yeah, because he has a terrible contract.
Yeah.
That was such a sick contract to get out of.
Oh, yeah.
Got rid of him to keep Barbashev.
Not a bad deal.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm very much on the side of Kelly McCrimmon knows exactly what the hell he's doing. There's a reason this team has done so well in the 7-8 years that he's been around that I fully trust whatever he's doing is making sense up there.
Yeah, today for me, when I looked at the Wings, I said, you know what? I already know they have Patrick Kane coming back, so that's the leadership. Like I want to see another D-man come in, so obviously Gustafson came in and is that on the left side. I would like another player that gets a few more scoring opportunities for the Wings. But unfortunately for the Wings, this particular offseason, the main focus has to be re-signing Lucas Raymond and Mo Seider. Because like you can't just lose those guys. Like they're both RFA'd, so
yeah.
But
then you'll probably keep them.
Oh, they're gonna get deals done. Like you're not just gonna lose these guys. And I think both guys absolutely want to be there. But yeah, Simon Edvinsson, he's gonna be playing this year full time for the Wings, so that's gonna be good. Yeah, it's gonna be really. The Wings are gonna make the playoffs this upcoming year. They have to. I have to believe they're gonna do that.
I mean, they technically made it last year, in my opinion.
Fucking Flyers.
Fucking Capitals. I don't know, I think the East is going to be a little bit more competitive than people think because, I mean, Detroit's going to be in there. Washington's made some good moves.
Yep.
No way Buffalo is not in there this year. They have to be in there. Ottawa could be in there. Ottawa is more of like that long shot that gets in there. Montreal is like another long shot that could be in there if everything goes their way. But dude, Buffalo has to be there this year. There's no way.
I'd say there's a way.
There's a way.
This is the Sabres organization we're talking about here.
But,
they will find a way.
Looking at that roster and those guys, they have to find a way to get there. You would think.
You would hope.
Because that roster on any other organization would probably make the playoffs.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah. Keegan Thompson, very good. Is it Keegan Thompson that I'm thinking of? That's
H. Thompson?
yes. There we go. Yeah, I knew it was Thompson. It might have. That's why I kind of like paused there after I said it. I was like, Keegan Thompson.
I thought maybe there's another Thompson we were talking about. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, maybe, but
Utah's definitely going to make the playoffs. This is now in the West. Utah makes the playoffs. So who do they kick out? LA is going to be better.
well, let's look at
Seattle
teams
could
that
probably
aren't
take another
going
run
to.
at it. Like Seattle could take a run at it, like an 8th seed. Colorado should be there. I don't think Minnesota gets there. They were in there last year, I think. I'm so tossed on Winnipeg because I wrote them dead at the end of last year, and then they go in and do that. But I think there's no way they can do it again because that was like everything went right for them until the playoffs.
All right, let's look at each team and just say yes or no. Like we're gonna quickly fire off some teams that we think. Chicago, they're not ready to
No.
make the playoffs yet. They're getting better, but they're not there. Colorado, yes.
Yeah,
Stars, yes.
yeah.
Like the Stars, they're Jimmy Holland. He or not Jimmy Holland.
Maybe Ben. Jamie Benn.
No, I'm
Taylor
thinking.
Sagan.
Yeah.
Or are you thinking someone else?
I'm thinking their GM.
I have no idea.
He's
The only thing I hold against Dallas that I think will always hold them back is Pete DeBoer.
maybe.
That's why I don't take. Dallas is a great team, but in my mind, they will never win a Stanley Cup if they have Pete DeBoer behind the bench. Because there's no reason that team should have lost to Edmonton. Dallas arguably was the better team.
Yes, but Edmonton was kind of on that run.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Minnesota, I don't think so.
No,
Nashville, I think it's probably too.
they probably should. It's like an 8th. Like they should make it. They made it last year, and they got a better team this year. They should make it.
So we have the three teams that we're thinking, but St. Louis.
That Nashville's a very much like a iffy one because the Coyotes could beat them out, which is now Utah.
Yeah, the Utah.
Because Utah's
Hockey
gonna have
Club.
a really good team this year. Because they'll have all those prospects coming up, and they got Sergachev in there. I assume they'll let Tej play it up.
I don't know if they will let Tej play.
They'll let him play the first 7, like that first 7 before you have to send someone away. He'll play those first 7.
Maybe.
The top 10 guys play that first 7 and then get sent elsewhere.
Depends
Nashville's
on organization.
Very flippity for me. I could see Colorado being a left out team.
A
just
team
by
that
luck.
just. I would agree with you if there's injuries on that team, but if they stay healthy, I think they're a lock to make the playoffs.
The Canucks are another team take a step back, in my opinion. Especially because they might not have Besser next year.
Yeah.
So
Ducks aren't gonna make it.
50 Ducks aren't gonna make it. Sharks aren't gonna make it. Kraken they're there. Like they'll be in the conversation. I don't think they
Flames
make
are
it.
not making it.
Flames won't be there. The Knights will make it. The Kings are 50-50, but they should make it.
Canucks will take a step back, like you're saying, but they'll
Canucks take a
probably
step
make
back. How I see the Pacific going is Edmonton, Vegas, and then a toss-up of LA or Vancouver, most likely. And then Seattle right there. And then I could see in the Central, Dallas. I think Winnipeg takes a step back instead, so fuck them. I could see Dallas, Colorado, and then a combination of Utah, Nashville, and Winnipeg.
The Wings signed Jack Campbell. We signed him to a 1-year deal worth $775,000.
You got chicken noodle soup in that.
He's gonna be playing in the AHL. Like
You got chicken noodle soup in that. Oh, Ilya Samsonov is signing a 1-year deal with Vegas, supposedly.
I'll take that. Good. That's a good backup in there with Aiden Hill run a 1-2 there.
Yeah.
Not against it. I don't know how legit this dude who's reporting it is, but a lot of the Vegas beat reporters are like saying this is a thing.
I think you'll appreciate my tweet that I just did.
Go look up you real quick so I don't have to go find it. Chicken noodle soup in the net. Yes, sir. There he is.
I don't.
Chicken noodle soup.
He's
What
gonna.
you gonna
He's only
do?
playing in the AHL, so
Is it
whatever. It
gonna
doesn't really
go
mean that much to me.
5-hole?
But like,
Is he for sure playing in the AHL?
yeah, he's not gonna be playing in the NHL. I would have to hope. Like, I can't imagine that they're gonna be like.
Wouldn't it say 2-way contract though?
Well, it doesn't necessarily need to be a two-way for him to play in the AHL, because if you just have him there at the start of things, then it doesn't really make that much of a difference. It's just that if he's actually on the active roster and you try to send him down, then he goes on to conditional waivers. But
No one would pick him up, but
yeah, so I genuinely just look at this and go, it is 100% an AHL move just to have some veteran presence there.
he signed Jack Campbell.
I am Confucian.
Samsonov is going to get a better defensive core in front of him and a better team in front of him, so he should be better than he was with the Leafs.
Hope so.
Well, he had really good numbers with the Leafs. You finished with a 22-7-8 record, and now he's going to get a better team in front of him.
Yeah. But yeah, pretty much Jack Campbell's probably going to be the other goaltender was Sebastian Costa. Costa, that was the other guy that I was thinking about. While they're in the AHL.
All fun and games until Jack Campbell starts game 1.
Oh. Pain. Pain.
It's okay.
Is it?
No. You signed Jack Campbell. You think it's okay?
No. Just gonna quickly go. Yep.
I need to know if where's he starting. Right back up in GR for Kosa. $5 million to bear league minimum must be more painful than being set down to the AHL. Grand Rapids. Everyone says Grand Rapids. Overpay. Woof. What a fun day.
Ugh. Just. Ew. Brother, ew.
Brother, ew. Oh, this TSN reporter for the Sens has this tweet. So Calvin DeHaan has agreed to terms with Colorado, but he tweets it so it's like he's calling Colorado the Senators. It is like Calvin DeHaan has agreed to terms with Colorado. #Sens. Had interest. It's just so weird.
Yeah, that's a weird way to put it. So in some basketball free agency move, Klay Thompson plans to join the Dallas Mavericks on a 3-year, $50 million deal.
Hey, don't let that distract you from the fact that that man went 0 for 10 from the three-point line in an elimination game. Never let that distract you.
Yep, I would have to agree with you on that one.
Never, ever, 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 ever.
Ever.
I like that no matter what sports-related thing I see right now, that's the first comment I see. Can we just announce the Samsonov thing? I want to know the terms before I laugh again at the Jack Campbell signing.
That's gonna happen a lot today, isn't it?
What, the laughing at Jack Campbell? Yeah.
Yep. Which I get, like I 100% understand the laughing of Jack Campbell because
Because it's Jack Campbell.
yeah. Pine. Sam Carrick signs a 1 or 3-year deal with $1 million a season with the Rangers.
Mitchkov signs his ELC with Philly. So that's probably the biggest move Philly's done in 2 years. Good one.
He's
Sam
gonna play
Carrick.
this year for Flyers.
Oh, yeah, he said he's coming over.
Yeah.
Apparently, he did the Yager thing where he told the Flyers he'd only take a year in the KHL, and he told the other teams he'd take the whole contract.
Yeah. The
I
teams
think
that he
that's
didn't
stupid.
want.
How
Yeah.
does an 18-year-old get so much say in the NHL?
I just don't know why he would necessarily want to go to the Flyers.
Yeah, why the Flyers too, of all teams? But like, so that guy had more say on where he went than Bedard did.
Yeah. I don't love John Tortorella. Like, I don't know why this dude still keeps getting jobs.
Yeah.
It's just mind-boggling to me. And I guess Mitchkov is cool with it. Don't
I don't
know.
know, I guess. And it's not like they have. It'd be different if they had something else there. There's nothing in Philly.
Yeah.
Like, they got nothing young to look forward to but Mitchkov. They don't draft well. They don't sign. They don't trade. They just kind of sit there in limbo. They're like, hey, we exist. We're fun for a bit, and then we die.
So just looking at their roster right now, Sean Cutter.
And without Carter Hart, they're fine.
Yeah, they don't have a netminder. Owen Tippett isn't a bad player, not necessarily a great player. Rasmus Rostalainen is okay. Ryan Ellis he's a decent player. Yeah. Just there's again like what you're saying, there's just not a lot to really look forward to with that team.
There's nothing. They're not good.
No.
Well, I've seen enough from the Golden Knights fan base on social media for the rest of the year, so. Fire Kelly McCrimmon! Excuse me. He is probably the best general manager in the league right now.
It's basically saying
Arguably.
like, yeah. Like
what other team is seeing their star player get injured and the GM goes, well, fuck it, I'll get Thomas Hurdle and make San Jose pay for it.
That was just a hilarious move.
Like I can't with the fan base sometimes. It's fucking annoying. The Caps have a projected $102 million cap hit, which is $14 million over the cap.
Jesus.
They can start the season up to 9.2 over the cap with Backstrom placed on the LTIR, meaning they have $5 million to create of space to create.
God damn. And it's not like this is the NFL where you can just convert contract into signing bonus.
Yeah. So this is why they bought a contract friendly or puck friendly or whatever.
Cap friendly.
Cap friendly, yeah. This is why they bought it, so they can just hide their blunders.
Exactly. Just be like,
I
oh,
mean,
it's actually this much.
when they're paying Pierre-Luc Dubois as much as they're paying him,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd hide that too.
Why would you ever pay for him?
I don't know.
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
What has Matt Roy done to deserve that 7-year contract? Because to me, that is absolutely fucking mind-boggling that he got a 7. Like, I hate anything more than like a 4-year contract just because I just feel like it ultimately hurts you.
5-year deals I work with, but I wouldn't go more than that.
Yeah. So Matt Roy, 7-year deal, $38.5 million contract. So what is that over the time? So 38.5 divided by 7. So he's making 5.5 a year. That is a fair amount for what does Matt Roy, what has he done? So he's a demon, obviously. So over his career, Matt Roy has played in LA his entire career. Um, Take a guess on what his maximum amount of point totals has been over his
Sorry,
career.
who are we talking about?
Matt Roy.
71.
Like
Like,
in a
are you
season?
talking like highest in a season?
Yeah, highest in a season.
Like highest point total?
In a season for Matt Roy, who is a defenseman.
Oh, I thought you said forward. I was not listening. 28.
26. That was in
Woo, she got close.
2022, 2023, where he got 9 goals, 17 assists. He does have a fairly decent plus minus, so he's probably viewed more as kind of like that shutdown defenseman.
Yeah.
Like he had a plus minus of 21 last year. He had
Ooh.
so pretty solid for sure, but $5.5 million for that for 7 years. He's 28 years
That's
old, so
interesting.
it's not like he's young, but fuck, that's a hell of a deal. Hell of a
Yeah.
deal. I'd love to be paid $5.5 million to get 20 points a season.
Right?
Again, like I do understand that there are like defensive players that, don't really get a lot of total, and that's what they're kind of really used for, which is good, but damn.
Damn indeed.
So when you played hockey, what was your position?
Right wing, bit of center, but mostly right wing and then right defense.
See, I was a left demon for the
Okay.
I was a left demon or a goalie. Those were the only two positions that I ever played when I played hockey. Because
I never touched goalie.
I know in baseball you were a pitcher.
Yeah. I have fucking everything.
In baseball, I was left field, second base, or third base.
I played every position at one point in my life in baseball.
Well, yeah, me too. But like when I started, like in the more competitive years that I played in like the last 2 or 3, those were kind of the only positions that I ever touched. So, and I was
I know
ninth
mostly
in the
just chill
lineup.
in the outfield when I play. 'Cause I don't have to do as much.
I was ninth in the lineup when it came to hitting.
Nice.
No.
I did a beer league thing. We played like 3 games before our team folded this year, and I was like, just let me sit in the outfield.
Just please, for the love of God, don't let me do anything. I just want to drink beer.
So it's been 3 years. Just let me sit in the outfield, please.
Yep.
Igor Sharankovich, 5-year, 5.75. Well, that's so old, David Agnota. Thanks for catching up. 5.75 feels a lot for Sharangovich.
Well, he's still young, and he's got 30 goals this year. So,
Did he
like,
have 30?
yeah.
No.
At least
I say at 1 o'clock. We are good to probably cut it.
yeah, probably. Because there's not a lot happening. But
No.
if I look at Sharon Govich, 26 years old, so, that 5-year deal is going to be pretty decent. But yeah, he got 31 goals, 28 assists for 59 total points.
Huh.
So yeah, not a bad season by any stretch of the imagination. He was a minus 29 in plus minus. Because how much is
Did
he getting?
Neckus not sign? I swear he signed. Did he not sign? It's the only other guy. That's who I want if we can get it. But I swear he signed. No, he didn't. Really? I swear he did.
He done diddled.
Is he not? Is he an RFA? Oh. Oh, he's an RFA that you have to trade for. Okay, interest is back down.
Mostly because, the Knights don't really have anything that they can trade away.
We have so much that we can trade. We actually do. We have a whole bunch of picks.
Do you actually have picks now?
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of picks. We fleeced 4 picks at the deadline.
Huh.
We got picks for Hurdle. We don't have a first round this year or next year. We have one in 27. We have a second round pick. We have 2 third-round picks, a 4th, a 5th, 2 6th. We got a 2nd and a 3rd and a 5th, 6th, and a 7th and 26. And we got all our picks in 27. Plus, we got some prospects we can move around if we want to.
Yeah. So you know how earlier we were talking about our NHL franchises? The last thing that I did last night when I was playing, we just did the draft after I got bounced. There was a franchise potential center, and I was like, you know what? I want to see if I could trade up to get that pick just to fuck around and find out. And I was like, what would it really take without me going overboard? So what I did was I swapped first round picks in that draft class. I gave a first round pick the year after that. And then I gave a second round pick basically the following 3 years after that. And the team was like, yeah, sure, we'll take this. It's like, well, that was easy.
That was easy.
Like, it shouldn't have been that easy, but okay. Thank you for my second franchise potential player.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Exactly. My goal scorer now has a center to play with. Hot and spicy, yeah.
Just Anthony Beauvillier, Pens, 1 year, 1.25. Been a very boring day.
Yeah, it started out really hot and then it got really quiet.
I just think this free agent class this year was a little weaker than normal, so.
Yeah, there wasn't any of those superstar guys that were out there and available, and
Next year's gonna be fun. Isn't Draisaitl available?
yeah.
Take a look. NHL free agents.
According to Cap Friendly, Johnny Tavares, Mitch Marner, Jamie Benn, Mikko Rantanen, Backstrom, Crosby, Draisaitl, Burns, Johansson, Hedman, Kuznetsov, Ekblad, Besser, Claude Giroux, although I don't know how much he's got left in him, Marchand, Ehlers, Taylor Hall, Buchnevich, TJ Oshie, Shesterkin, that's going to be a big one. Kuzmenko, Theodore, Leonard gets off the LTIR. Fuck yeah. No, not Saros anymore. Allmark, Chikrin, Kaner, McCabe again. There's some pretty good ones. It's a better free agent class, it looks like, next year.
Yeah, a lot of those guys probably won't be available, but yeah, it's
I'm banking on the Crosby Draisaitl combo coming to Vegas next year.
will you guys have money for that?
Yeah. I'll make it work.
Yeah, just give them both 8-year deals, 1 million a season.
I'll give Draisaitl 8 years. I don't think Crosby needs it. Give Crosby 2 years, 2 or 3 years, whatever he wants, really.
Yeah.
And then you just tell Stone that, hey man, go back to the Rippers, throw your back out for a little bit. That's cool.
No. Well, what happens is the Vegas Golden Knights, they actually go to a casino and say, "Hey, listen. What we're gonna do is we're gonna sign Leon Draisaitl to an 8-year deal worth $1 million. We're gonna tell him to come in with that $1 million, put all of his chips on red, and you force it to go on red."
Yeah. We're going to put it all on 00, and you make sure that thing lands on 00.
Yeah, like magnetize it and just
Do what you need.
I don't know why my Vegas doesn't do that with more players. Just we're seeing constant like 1 mil.
What I think we just go up to them and be like, "Hey, Crosby, you want to win a Stanley Cup in Vegas? Here's league minimum." Draisaitl, you didn't have a great year in the playoffs. Here's $3 million a year. Prove it. Prove that you should have more. And after this 8-year deal, we'll think about it.
Prove this when we're giving you $2.5 million a year off of an 8-year contract.
Prove this outrageous contract wrong.
Yeah. All the Vegas
If
fans
not,
see that they just
for McDavid.
Vegas fans the entire time screaming, "Overpay, overpay! What are we doing?"
Dude, some would be nuts.
Like, oh, why are we getting Draisaitl? He's not a proven winner.
That's because he's stuck with McBust.
Big no fans.
On the Edmonton can't win a Stanley Cup final, Oilers. I know who my true 2015 number 1 overall pick is. It's the one with the ring in his first attempt. How many attempts has McDavid had at a ring now?
1.
No, he's been in the playoffs way more than that.
Oh, in the playoffs. I thought you were just talking about in the Stanley Cup.
Every time you have a playoff, every time you make the playoffs, you have a chance at getting a ring. In Eichel's first year in the playoffs, he made that chance count. And you know who he had to take out to get there? McBust a nut.
Well, I think off of that joke, perfect time to end this. I'm gonna go play GTA.
I'm gonna go eat food.
I should also probably do that too.
Well, shout out the Detroit Red Wings for signing
The
Jack
goat.
Campbell.
The goat, Jack
Oh, we
Campbell.
found another. There's another Joe Biden meme.